Midnight music. 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 Midnight music.
And whenever Kay gets in, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Yeah. Baby, it's episode 316. Holy shit, I got tissues. The mango passion fruit cinnamon with. You're ridiculous. Taquan, how long did you think about writing this? This does not come off the top of your head.
I like how Twitch will automatically star out the N word.
It knows. Thank you.
Well, I think it's a second. I think it's a second.
Taquan, is that your way of saying congratulations? Because if so, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Taquan. I'm here too, but I'm not writing that much. Thank you, Charles. Thank you as well. K Murphy is on their way into the stream as soon as they get here.
Charles, I demand you right for.
When K Murphy gets in, we will definitely start. Welcome to our pre-show for episode 316, episode 316, a faux monumental episode. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun this week. I promise I'm not gonna scream unless I have to.
Oh well, that got a lot of views on Twitch. The replay.
Yeah, I got really mad. I didn't anticipate getting. Yeah, I was just like, I was falling asleep. I was like, why did I get so mad?
What is? Was it the Family Guy episode when it's like I think Peter something's arguing with the horse and the horse just starts to like yell?
Probably. That math checks out.
I censored the N-word myself. Good job, Taekwon.
Whoa. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I can't say it, but I can handle it.
By the way, I'm like almost done with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I'm very happy I'm doing that show. I'm still watching that show.
Yeah, I haven't been watching that much TV. I've just been gaming really hard. Do you know the new Call of Duty's out? You did? Do you like it?
I enjoyed the shit out of it.
So two of my friends bought it. One likes it. The other one despises it. I just had this urge to play the new Call of Duty so hard. I've been fighting it so hard. At first, I told you last week I was playing my emulator, PS2 emulator for like the first two Call of Duties. Well, instead I was like, I need a new Call of Duty. So I downloaded Call of Duty, the one that came out in 2019, the Modern Warfare reboot. I started playing that instead. Okay. And let me tell you, my fix is in. That game is incredible. Now, that first one the campaign is incredible.
Their campaigns are always really good, but people are like, oh, I just want to play for the multiplayer. But like, no, play the campaign. The campaign's freaking awesome. Like,
a lot of the campaigns are really
and they
good.
follow a story. Like, if you keep buying Call of Duty, like it's usually the same characters in the same series. Hello, Kay. Oh, you sound
Hi.
amazing too, which is great.
Yo, Verlander
Really?
Verlander got
Did he
Cy
get the
Young.
sign? Of course. He's also going for another like
Yeah.
$150 million contract. That son of a bitch.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He deserves that Cy Young. He had an absolutely incredible season.
Yeah.
I see it's bathrobe season.
It's
Oh,
yeah.
hell yeah.
It's also soup season for me too. Like
It's also soup season. I went to the store
I
today
need
and
to
bought a shit
go.
ton
I
of
need to
soup.
go on my soup run because
love
soup season is in full effect in these parts.
Soup
I
and
have
chowder.
soups and sandwiches.
Soups
I
and
made
sandwiches.
a garlic bread, grilled cheese with fried chicken on it for dinner.
So
Okay, I forgot to buy grilled cheese. I forgot to buy like bread and cheese.
I
You
God.
always keep grilled cheese stuff in the
I
house.
just don't keep bread in my house. To be honest
Alright.
It's a
with you,
must.
but
I honestly don't. Also don't. I don't really keep bread, eggs, or milk
I
in my
keep
house.
eggs,
To
but the
be
eggs go really
honest.
quickly because I like to make big egg breakfasts a lot. I was like, ooh, 6 eggs, let's go.
6
Yeah.
eggs.
I'm a growing boy.
I usually
I love
do
it.
4. I usually do 4 eggs.
Yeah, I've upgraded to 4.
Yeah.
I like only do scrambled though. You
Yeah,
can
it's
try
the way
it.
to go. It's really quick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super easy. Some cheese, some hot sauce, maybe some not chipotle or whatever.
If I scramble it, I usually will scramble in like cheese, onions, peppers. Oftentimes bacon bits, depends on like if I have any like meat in the house that I
Do you
would like
want to
want to
just
put in.
be my
Like
personal
ham,
chef, Kay?
prosciutto.
Because that
Why?
sounds amazing, actually.
Okay, but like so
And I don't have
for
all that
me,
time to
like
prep. I mean, I do have
I
all that time to
like
prep, but I don't want to do the prep.
neither do okay, here's the thing. I don't fucking I buy frozen like veggies
Oh,
and
okay.
shit.
So do I.
Trust me, I do not have it together. Like the ADHD in me, it's really easy for me to buy groceries and then forget about them in the fridge. So if I buy frozen, I don't run into this problem. So usually I like make however many like peppers and onions I need for whatever
Gotcha.
I'm making. And I'll just like heat it up
Makes
like in the
sense. Oh,
pan.
I bought an air fryer over the weekend.
I want an air fryer so
It'll
bad.
change
How is
your
it?
life. I've only used it once and it's freaking amazing. The only way I can explain it, like, you ever see The Fifth
Yeah.
Element? Because, Kay, I know you've seen The Fifth Element. Okay, remember
Yeah.
when she, like, first gets her first meal and she's eating all this fucking chicken and she puts it into the microwave and, like, recreates the chicken and it's all done really quickly? It's kind of how an air fryer is.
Yeah.
It cooked my chicken
I,
in half the time I would use to, like, do it in the oven. It's
That's
so good. All you
amazing.
literally do, because, like, you don't even, I mean, you want to base it a little bit, your chicken, season it, whatever, and then put it in, and it does the rest for you. It's absolutely amazing.
I love that. I have to use this more. I have an instant
Okay.
pot that I like really want to get into using more.
Crock
year.
pot, baby. Crock pots will save
That
your
also
life.
takes time. I'm big on the air fryer. I will say it's like, if you go to Best Buy now, it's like $60.
Oh, that's not bad. And I do have
So
a Best
do
Buy
I.
credit card.
You
$60
George Foreman
for an
girl.
8-quart. I'll send you the link, Kay.
Thank you. My only issue is I currently have to figure out a place because my apartment is tiny and there is no storage. And between all of my cooking stuff and all of my roommates' cooking stuff, because my roommate also likes to cook, there's shit everywhere. So like my instant pot is in like the cabinet above the oven, and it takes up like most of the space.
While clapping your
can.
cheeks.
You can. It is the perfect time frame.
You've had me at cheek clapping.
Of course we did. Oh yeah, that's right, Freds. I am on
Also,
Fretzelmania
I
this
couldn't get-
weekend.
Also, I couldn't get beer, so I'm drinking
That's
orange
fine.
juice.
That's fine. Another
Charles
beer
has
for the
beer for
working
all
man.
of us, so
Thanks, Charles. Yeah, I have orange juice in a Christmas wine
Freaking
glass.
Charles. So we'll get this. Charles calls me this weekend as he's driving to New Orleans. I'm like, he's like, I got a friend down there I'm going to chill with for the weekend. I was like, all right, because he lives in Georgia. So it's only like a 6-hour drive. Charles also bought like a 16 case of Stone Cold, and he has 11 left now. So Charles is having a good night.
A 16 case of Stone Cold.
It's also in Georgia, so it's probably cheaper. Oh, Charles is
No
on
kidding.
vacation, so he doesn't
What?
give a damn.
Definitely.
What a time to
That's
be.
also
Yeah, Charles is on
fair.
vacation from UPS, so he's enjoying his life right now.
I ended up with a 4-day weekend this weekend, and I'm very excited. So I'm off today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday.
Wow. You know what you should do, Kay? Go to the movies.
What? Yeah, but like no. I have honestly genuinely no time this weekend. Like Saturday, I'm doing bridesmaid
Another
stuff.
wedding, Kay?
Like I'm going
Say, who else is getting married now?
Danielle and Tyler.
I keep track of all the people that are getting married in your life, Kay?
Dude, it's so
So
hard.
Danielle and Tyler's wedding is currently the last wedding I am in until my friend Bobby eventually gets engaged, and then I know I'm in that wedding. But like that's not going to be for a
Okay,
couple
okay.
years. So it's
Hey,
almost over. But like Danielle's wedding is super easy considering, she lives downstairs from me.
That's perfect.
And it's and my role in this wedding is extra special because I'm walking the corgi down the aisle.
yeah.
Of course you are.
That dog, besides Franklin, I have never bonded with an animal so much besides
Dude,
Frank.
corgis
Like,
are amazing.
Tino is like my buddy.
I
I
do love
want
a
one
good
so
corgi.
bad.
I follow this
Like-
woman on TikTok. She owns a farm in Missouri, and she has 2 corgis that follow her around while she works on the farm.
Oh.
It's great. I like
So-
the farm mom TikTok is real. It's funny. It's funny for no reason because she names all of her animals. And
Of
she
course
has
you
barn
do.
cats, and they all have
That's
different
normal.
personalities. She hates the fucking ducks. She thinks the ducks are
I-
conspiring against her.
If
they
I
are.
had I wanna
Yes, Kay?
is Taquan making fun of Franklin?
Oh, Franklin's not a dog, Taquan.
He's a
If
bearded
you-
dragon.
how long have you been watching our streams, Taquan? You should know who Franklin is.
That grown-ass name.
Taquan has apologized.
I don't want to pet Franklin.
Hold on.
It's like Christ. It's like that, and Jonathan gets them triggered.
You're right. Taquan, I really hope you go into comedy one day because you have a gift at the moment.
Look at this wonderful
Someone
man.
needs a well visit. Good job, Charles. We are gonna.
Do you see this not dog?
It is not.
Do you see
dog.
this not
Look how
dog?
big he is, though. Look how giant. And
Yeah,
Very scaly.
Franklin is the new Freckles.
Hi, Smalls. You are a little scaly man. He's perfect.
Are his poops big?
Kind of. Freckles
Oh.
is. If I ever had a pet dog, her name 1,000,000% would be Freckles.
Of course it would. But dude, there was also an air fryer hack that my friend told me. He's like, dude, you just put cold pizza in the air fryer. And I'm like, wow, that's absolutely brilliant. I do love cold pizza. That's the one thing about cold pizza. If cold pizza wasn't so damn good, I would reheat it all the time.
Yeah, if cold pizza wasn't better than reheated pizza. Charles, how's the pizza in
I
Atlanta?
believe it
bet it's
is.
ass.
He's never talked about it at all. There's a lot of beer gardens are down in Atlanta, I believe.
I believe that.
And apparently by the what is it? By the Atlanta Braves Stadium, apparently it's a huge shopping center. It's all built up like crazy. Oh, so wait, Taekwondo, are you
Oh,
trying
really?
to, are you trying to,
What am I
to,
doing?
are you trying to pit us against this other podcast?
And or
The
wrestling. It sounds
PWP
ridiculous.
to make. Also,
I get
are
behind
you
that.
cheating on us, Taekwondo, with another wrestling podcast? Like, how dare you? We've
Next thing you tell
yeah,
us, listen to
right.
Bruce Pritchard.
Charles said we don't talk about cheesy sauce bread down here.
Ugh.
Oh, apparently the place by the Atlanta Bridge Pole Park is called the Battery. Charles is there like every fucking weekend. There's like a movie theater, shopping mall, a crap ton of restaurants.
That new stadium next to City Field is totally
What new
not going to
stadium next to
work.
City Field?
They're making a soccer stadium
Why?
next to
For
City
what
Field.
to?
You
It hasn't
didn't hear
come up
about
on any
this?
of my alerts.
They're open. It's opening in
I'll take
2027. There's also going to be like an
So
apartment
like,
complex and shit in
so
there
wait,
too.
where's everybody gonna get all their cheap automobile stuff?
Where's everyone going to park? How are you going to drive through
apparently
there?
building it. Oh, it's going to be awful. They're apparently building it across from City Field.
Yeah,
Let
it's
me
going to be a
see.
nightmare.
Did this just get announced?
Terrible.
Sounds like the Jets are leaving.
Honestly, they should.
They should. They could actually be the New York Jets. We can call them the New Jersey Giants.
Well, I mean, literally,
prefer
you
the
can
Giants
literally
version
house
of the New
half of
Jersey
New
Jets.
York in that one section. Like, all the Jets and Mets fans are in this one section right here. Like, they all go to this one location.
That is true. They just call it Losers Corner.
It just got announced. Oh, it's for there's a lot more space than you think. As I'm looking at a picture up and overhead by City Field, because there's nothing by City Field. It's just a barren wasteland out there.
Yeah, it's all.
It's
all
all a bunch of
industrial.
chop shops, actually. It's where they're gonna put NYCFC, so they'll stop playing in Yankee Stadium, because they actually
Yeah.
are a good team and they won the MLS last year.
Yeah, they won the MLS last year. Like, well, we kind of need our own stadium. Well, I mean, soccer is on the huge.
Well,
come up in
especially
the
because we're
States.
getting
Like,
we're
one
getting the
in
World
Nash-
Cup in 2026.
Yeah. No, we have the
No,
World Cup
Qatar
now.
has the World Cup.
Oh, that's
We
right.
have the
We
next
have
one,
World
and
Cup,
like
you're right. It's us, Mexico,
there's
and I think Canada.
well, it's the North America.
The
It's
Americas,
mostly the
yes, the
U.S.
Americas.
There's like one. I think there's one Canadian stadium, two Mexico stadiums, but like they're using Gillette Field, MetLife Stadium, the Link, in
They're probably
Atlanta.
going to use the one in Nashville, the stadium that's
No, they're
just
not.
been
They
built,
listed them
no?
already. Yeah. I can
they
tell you
did.
which ones they are because I looked at this. I was like, wow, I can just travel up and down the East Coast and make like half of these games. For World Cup America. Yeah,
that's
all
gonna
right.
be
So here are the
interesting.
stadiums. It's fucking also like it's pretty big. Like the American, like they spaced out a lot of these, and I'm like, how are these teams gonna fucking travel? So they have MetLife Stadium is one, which I'll definitely go to. AT&T in Dallas, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, SoFi Stadium in LA, the Link in Philadelphia, Levi Stadium in San Francisco, where the 49ers play, Houston's Texans Stadium, NRG, Lumen Field, where the Seahawks play. That's going to be loud as shit. Miami's Hard Rock Stadium because it makes sense. Like they'll probably actually pack out that stadium because they don't do it for the Dolphins. The outlier here is the Kansas City Chiefs got the World Cup stadium. Yeah, I'm like, really?
That's
Kansas?
interesting.
Like, I don't think they know what soccer is in Kansas City, but we'll find out. Foxborough, obviously. Toronto BMO Field. BC Place in Vancouver, Mexico City Stadium, which is actually big as shit, Azteca Stadium, and then another stadium in Guadalajara, which is also big as shit, and Monterrey. So there's three in
It'll be
Mexico, two in
interesting.
Canada, the rest are in America. I'm interested. I want to go to a World Cup game. I'm not even that crazy of a soccer fan, but like, I'll get my fix in, and then 4 years later, I'll get my fix again.
Play FIFA for like 3 months straight, and then you'll be really into it.
Listen. I play FIFA from time. I don't. I If I religiously played FIFA, I'd probably love it, but I just don't religiously play it.
Yeah,
People
who do.
swear by it. Fritz, I'm also with you. I don't get how Arrowhead got a selection. Like it's the outlier in them besides Texas. But we'll see. It's going to bring a crap ton of people to the U.S. That's going to be fucking nanas. And a lot of revenue. And I think the finals of the World Cup is going to be in L.A. at Sophie. I think.
Cool.
Don't quote me on that. It's all right. Kay, how you doing? You still with us? God damn it, we lost Kay.
God damn it, Kay.
God.
Eddie Kingston strikes again.
Charles said, "Time to learn soccer." Charles, you are like
he does
you
their
are
job
you are a
without
typical
internet.
you have a goalie build.
I think he's too big to be a Charles. You're too big to play soccer.
But that's what makes him a great goalie. He's not going to be a midfielder.
No, I mean goalies got to be able to jump all over the net though. Goalies got to be like
Yeah,
flexible.
Charles can do it. Soccer's the most
Have
popular
ups.
sport in the world because there's no AC in third world countries. Correct.
I mean, yeah, soccer is the most popular sport in the world because any poor
Yeah,
person
because
can
it's
play it.
easy.
Yeah, all you need is a rock and
Well,
Really it.
something.
2 endpoints.
Is it cylindrical? Not cylindrical. Spherical. Yeah,
Spherical.
Spherical.
yeah, can
Yeah.
soccer ball.
Charles says I'm allergic to cardio. Dude, by the way, before we started
Aren't we
football,
all,
before we
man?
get started, because we are going to start soon, Fred Flintstone was the original Messi. Great line. Great line. Football's gonna be a year-round sport by next year. You know that, right?
Oh, because the XFL and the
USFL.
what's the other one?
So the XFL
USFL.
starts like a week after the Super Bowl ends, or 2 weeks after the Super Bowl ends, and then once the XFL ends, then the USFL starts for the summer. And then once that ends, then you have the beginning of preseason in the NFL.
Yeah, I feel like the XFL is setting themselves up for failure. Like you're starting after the.
Well,
Super
here's the thing:
Bowl.
they can't because they partner with the NFL. The
Yikes.
NFL is going to use them as a,
Yeah,
and they partner with
leagues.
ESPN too. So
Maybe
they partner with
A little bit
ESPN.
football.
They just started holding their drafts actually, and the XFL kept
Like-
a lot of the teams from the last go around.
I can't wait for fantasy XFL.
But also, they made history. They made the XFL football doesn't look fucking weird now. It looks like the NFL, but the only difference is The Rock's ex-wife, who's like the head, who's like potentially pretty much like the majority shareholder. Her name is on the football, so she's the first like female commissioner, like whose signature is on the football, which is kind of cool. So. Yes, Fretz, the XFL legit is back again. Go look up their Twitter and stuff. We're doing a lot of good rebranding. It's pretty dope. But Kay Murphy, can we get you back, Kay?
They said internet is not cooperating in the Discord channel.
No, just the
So
guys.
no dice. Just a few guys
that's
drinking
what's
brews.
gonna be tonight, folks. All right, ready when you are, sir.
Yeah, let me start recording.
It is
I
The
should
Rock,
probably do
Mr.
that.
Fretz.
All right. Oh, I felt great. All right, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Midnight
Coming up this
music.
week on Kings of the Rings podcast, crack a couple of beers with us because we're going to celebrate our 316th episode in the best way possible by talking about AEW Full Gear and also getting prepared for Survivor Series War Games. Plus, HBK Shawn Michaels introduces a brand new never before seen match that's going to debut at NXT Deadline. So seriously, crack open a beer or two, get off of Ticketmaster. You're not getting the Taylor Swift tickets, but you are going to get episode 316 of Kings of the Rings podcast exclusively on Wrestle Addict Radio. And it starts right now.
Midnight music. Midnight
Oh, we got Anthony Rizzo back, thank God. Thank God.
Woo!
Thank
Hell
God.
yeah,
One contract down, about 20,000 more to go. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah, we need Benny, we need Judd, we need an outfield,
we need a
pitching
lot.
staff,
Ladies
we
and
need a lot
gentlemen,
of
welcome
shit.
to episode number 316 of Kings of the Rings podcast. Oh, hell yes. Our ceremonial 316th episode dedicated to Mr. 316 himself, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I am your host, King Ricky Rose. K. Murphy is here with us in spirit again because, as we know, internet is internet. Also with me, as always, is the somewhat childish yet always grand man himself, Will Tereshak. Will, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with K. It's like every time they go away, the internet cuts out. It's always the best screenshot.
It's
hilarious.
a great screenshot.
I had his invitation to hook up revoked. I don't know if that happened.
That's what my sources said.
Thomas, ARASHUK. A lot of fun stuff tonight on the show. So without further ado, I guess we just hop right into it.
Yeah, might as well hop right into it because Kay is not here, as you guys can see, just for proof. Kay is frozen in time, but Kay is still always invited to the cookout, just for reference, Will Tereshak. Anywho, moving along, before we get started, it is...
Great look. It's so funny.
It is
so
316, so we are going to crack open some beer. So, Will, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking Stella. I don't know how long these stouts have been in my fridge, but that's what I'm drinking.
Nice.
Hey, beer can't go bad if it's not opened, right?
I believe that's correct. I don't quote me on that science or not, but I believe that is correct. I am drinking for the first time ever because I've actually never had this one before. I had the Broken Skull IPA from Stone Cold Steve Austin, which is right next to me, but I do also have his Broken Skull American Lager, which I'm going to crack open for you guys right about now. Oh yeah.
Yo, actually, I got a Bush Light. That's
You
been in
should
my
probably
fridge
throw
since
that out.
February.
Yeah, but it's
not
a
open,
Bush
though,
Light.
it's
I
fine.
no, just do not.
Bush lattes are great, dude.
I'm not
you're tripping.
I'm not tripping. And I used to drink Natty in college. That's where, and that was because I was in Maryland. But anyway, cheers to 316. Cheers, everybody whoever's drinking with us. Will.
You can't talk.
Listen,
if
I
you
went
drink
to
Natty,
school in
dude.
Maryland. I will do whatever I want. So can you cheers?
At least it wasn't
Cheers,
there
yeah,
against
like,
it. Yeah, cheers,
don't let me
buddy.
Drink along. Let's try to. Oh wow, that's really good. You're gonna love this, Will.
What's
It's
it taste
crisp.
like? Is
It goes
crisp?
down real smooth. It's got a hint of cherry, but not too much. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Excellent.
That is
Excellent.
that
I
is
can't wait.
fantastic.
Yeah, there's a place on 8th Ave. It's like 8th and 49th. It's like at a home goods. It's not a home goods.
Yeah.
It's a supermarket. They sell the beer there. So
Yeah,
I'll
get
go
like
pick some
4
next
because
week.
you're gonna go through one. You're gonna go through one really quickly because I'm about to. That is wow. This might be my new favorite beer. Which well, I mean, I drink beer and mostly wine now too, but it's up there with High Life for me because I'm a big Miller High Life fan.
Thank you, Taquan. Someone had to say it.
Taquan, cut it out, man. Cut it out. Anyway, as we're going to continue drinking beers and going into the show, unfortunately without K. Murphy, but we are going to talk about AEW Full Gear, which we may or may not attend. Who the hell knows? It's only Wednesday. Full Gear is...
That's gonna be a may
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
not
Full
here this
Gear is going to
weekend.
be emanating from the America's Armpit, known as New Jersey, at The Rock, and it's got a pretty decent card. That's going to be there. I think it's 8 matches so far. Dynamite is going on right now as we are doing the show live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So card potentially subject to change, but here are the 8 matches that we know of right now, and we are going to start out obviously with the biggest match on the card, the AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley versus MJF, also known as the MJF Coronation Spectacular, because I totally believe that there is no way in hell MJF leaves the Prudential Center without this title.
Yeah, it is pretty fitting for a guy from Long Island to win the world title in New Jersey.
That is a perfect way to go.
He cut a pretty solid promo like a week or two ago. He was just like, listen, my moment in the spotlight has always been stolen by someone, whether it's, someone coming back, or it's someone getting injured, or a fucking press conference. So,
perfect.
Like, it's true. MJF's moment in the sun has always been kidnapped by something. It's a damn shame because it's like MJF is always the second most talked about person in that company.
Which is a shame because he should definitely be the number one talked about person in the company. But that's not all the time on him. That's on, backstage politics and whatnot.
Yeah. But I agree. I think he wins. I mean, why not, right? AEW needs some buzz right now. To me, AEW is a really dead company. Since that Punk thing happened, I just haven't cared to watch. I've kind of followed a few things here and there. But I haven't actually sat down and watched a full show in a while. But I'm still a big MJF fan. I'm still a Moxley fan. I'm still an AEW fan. But I need something to bring me back in. I think
MJF can do it too. Because you know what it is with MJF? MJF has the pulse of their core fan base. Especially when he cuts promos, MJF knows what they want to hear. He knows how to deliver it in a way where it's very tongue-in-cheek. Where he kind of is like, you know what I'm talking about, I'm going to reference it, you get it. So it's almost like when he's cutting promos, he's letting you in on something that you're not supposed to be privy to. But since
yeah, that's a great psychological breakdown.
And so with because he's kind of faking a fake break of the fourth wall, you're so intrigued by him. And I'm intrigued by him all the time. Like when he speaks, I listen. I'm like, this is going to be really good. But MJF knows his fan base.
Yeah, when he speaks, I listen and go, bro, stop doing.
I bet you their tech guys probably hate him.
Yeah, their ears just like, bro, like my hearing is down decibels because of you.
Yeah, I think Moxley does his job. I think this is going to be one of Moxley's last championship runs for a considerable amount of time because I don't think he needs a title anymore, especially since he re-signed. He's going to do a lot more backstage. And I think this is a good way for him to pass the torch over to MJF and see if he can, take the ball and run with it.
No, I disagree. I think Moxley's going to be on TV wrestling for a very long time. I think Jericho is taking a more backstage role, as well as being more towards ROH as opposed to AEW. But yeah, I do agree. Moxley doesn't need a title. He's big in the title. He's a man who's forever over. He is someone who is carrying a torch for that company, whether he has a title or not. I mean, he's the guy over there. He's respected. He deserves it. He's a mega star. There's nothing left
Yeah.
he has to
and
prove
he's a
to
professional.
anyone.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing. I go back to when I was there his last night, at his last night in WWE because his final night was in the Barclays Center. Everybody knew it was his last night, and he cut a great 8 to 10 minute promo after the show about his time and how he's grown and how he appreciates everybody. Like he left like a professional should. You know, So,
Hell yeah.
so kudos to Moxley. I will tell you this though, because I am a big belt connoisseur. I was on Shop AEW's like Twitter page. They actually are now selling for real now the AEW Championship belt. It is
It's
pretty.
a pretty
It's
belt.
also 800. It's also $800.
It's a very
yeah. It
well,
is
yeah,
a big
it's
belt.
huge. Right, it's the size of 2 belts. So it's
Yeah,
gonna
but
cost us
the
twice
TNT
as much,
titles
of
were
course.
pre-sale, which I kind of giggled at. I was like, really?
Oh, hilarious. Dude, let's buy the TNT title with some actual TNT and just blow it up. We'll be like a Republican. We'll be like a Republican ad.
We could be like those guys. You remember when people would wait in line for like Xboxes or like PlayStations, and there'd be always one dick who would buy it and be like, oh, and it's like silver crowd, and then he'd smash it on the street.
He smash it.
There's always one video of some asshole that would do that like on every big like console launch. So, but yeah, I would be down to blow up the TNT Championship because that is such a silly ass title.
We should make a custom belt and it's called the TNN belt. When Raw was on TNN for like 6
Called the
months.
Spike TV belt.
Yeah, didn't
TNN
TNN
became
become Spike, which
and then
became like
became
the
the
Paramount
Paramount,
Network? God,
But yeah,
what a time
yeah,
to be
oh
alive.
my God, what a crazy time to be alive. I want to buy a case of water and pour it out in front of an African. Wow, Jesus, Taekwon, you do need to be a
Wow.
you do need to be a comedian.
Glad you said it, not me.
Because I read it.
But yeah, MJF. I do hope he wins. Is he a face or a heel?
MJF? Huh.
Yeah. Like, it's weird. Because he was like, I am the devil, MJF. And like him and Stokey were like a thing. Now him and Stokey aren't a thing. And like, you see what Stokey got a promo saying he's a dick rider to John
Stokely
Moxley?
Hathaway said that? I love Stokely Hathaway.
So it's just like,
Fucking amazing.
I also love Stokely. But it's just like, I don't know what MJF is supposed to be. Like, could he be a face? He probably could. But he's a 10 times better heel.
He does cut some great face promos. Like the one against Regal was a face promo, and Regal healed it up perfectly.
Yeah.
I think in the eyes of the fans, he's a face, but I think he's supposed to be a heel in storyline. Yeah,
He's supposed to be a heel?
it's one of those things.
Oh, yeah, Fretz is a good point. Stone Cold 97 pre-Mania 13.
Okay,
Yeah, Stone Cold was supposed to be a heel, but what he was doing heelish things and getting cheered. I know, I literally was watching Raw the other night from 97. So
Fretz,
very
that's true.
accurate.
Nate does have the war title that was made. So we can see about it. Yeah, did you ever know, Will, that Nate made a war title?
I think I heard of
There's
it, but
pictures
forgot
there
about
somewhere.
It.
I'll
So now that's dedication.
yeah.
Soraya's neck.
We're going to talk about
Jesus
that. That's going to
Christ.
be an interesting match in and of itself. But before we get to that, let's move on to this. I think we're both sold on the fact that MJF should win
MJF,
this.
baby. Who's going to win? Who do you
I
want
kind
to
of
win?
want to be there as a
MJF.
fellow Long Islander to kind of cheer on because, it's a point of pride for Long Islanders when we do something that's like nationally recognized.
Yeah, dude. No one cares about Long Island except for
On
people
Long
in
Island.
Long Island. On Long
That's
Island.
right. It
I'm
happens
sorry,
to the
you're
best of us. Let's go. Moving on to this interim women's world championship.
I forgot it's an interim.
Interim women's world title. Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter, who's gotten a lot of buzz. Everybody wants to be a hater.
Whoop-de-doo.
But here's the problem with this. What I can't get my head. I can get my head wrapped around it, but I can't get over it. Is the fact that it's still the interim world title.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Like,
It's been 2 months.
And I don't think Thunder Rosa's coming back. Like, I heard she's on bad terms with some people backstage. Like,
oh, her and Britt legitimately don't like each other.
if you're not gonna bring Thunder Rosa back, you should take this interim thing off of her, unless.
Well, I don't know how long it takes like UFC to actually have an interim versus the actual heavyweight actual champion. I think if they're in the contract, they still make it an interim and a legit one until the fighter comes back. But, yeah, this is wrestling though. They should just strip her.
Especially you have no plans.
Like I don't mind the interim title if it's only like for a few weeks in wrestling. Like if it's part of a storyline. Like AEW's problem is too much real shit that becomes a storyline. And it's just like I don't care for the real drama. I like fake drama in wrestling. I don't know, like I like hearing about the real drama, but not seeing it on TV and like so in my face. It's
like
weird.
here's the thing. Like so, let's say the interim, like the concept of the interim world championship and that storyline is actually a really cool thing, and I think it worked very, very well when they did it with the world title because there, like you said, there wasn't that much time in between before they combined them again.
Yeah, and Punk was only out for
Exactly. There wasn't
like
that much time in between.
It was now for that long. Like there was an actual timetable for his return. Thunder Rose was like if Thunder Rose had knee surgery, I don't know if it's
which is bad
or whatever. But like if she had like knee surgery and she's out for a year, you just strip her the title. Like imagine if they made Asuka interim Raw Women's Champion.
And then then you could do a whole lineage of the interim Raw Women's title.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous. So if Toni Storm drops the interim title,
it doesn't mean anything.
Does that mean Jamie Hayter? Does that mean Jamie Hayter is the interim title? That's another thing in UFC. If you're the interim title holder, I don't think you fight. I don't think you defend the interim title until you fight.
Yeah, because they have to do a unification.
Yeah,
it's usually two people fight for the interim.
You don't defend interim titles.
Yeah, because it's usually two people fight for the interim championship in lieu of a champion being there.
Yes.
And then the interim champion faces the champion when the champion's ready to fight.
Yeah, when the champion's healthy.
Yeah, it's weird because like there's no time frame for this. So interim where it's like for instance like
Tony, I wrestle in Dark Storm. Facts, bro.
Here's also the issue with it as well. Like WWE has had interim champions before, but they never called it the interim championship, and I think that's what's fucking over AEW is that it's actually called the interim title. So, for instance, remember when you had the Shawn, HBK, and Razor, which leads to the ladder match, see who's the real Intercontinental Champion? Yeah.
Okay,
there was never an interim hold on it. He was like, I'm the real champion. Shawn was like, I'm the real champion.
Like, fuck you. You're the interim champion. W wasn't like, actually, no, he's the interim champion. No, that's to your point, though. That's a great point. And that's like when Moxley had the interim title from Punk. That's something we said. Like if Punk comes out and says I'm the real champion, it's brilliant. If it doesn't, it's just kind of stupid.
And it's like it's a Punk storyline with John Cena from when he got over like Rover.
Yeah, I mean, that one should have been
long. That should have been so much longer. Yeah, but they still never used the interim title thing. Like
they never used They never used the word interim. Right. Like you can have the interim title, just use it as to get heat on the champion, or to get heat on the heel who has the interim title. Yeah, you're 1,000% correct. It's just like, guys, it's wrestling.
Yeah, and like this does nothing for Toni Storm. One, if she loses. Two, even if she wins and then Thunder Rosa comes back and she loses, does Toni Storm's reign as champion count? Does Jamie Hayter's reign as champion count if they don't actually win the real title?
That's another great question.
You know?
I think it has to
count. For what
count.
though? I was the interim. Like, do you put an asterisk in the record book? Like, what do you do?
I honestly, I should call Jared and see what that works for UFC. Like, if you win an interim title, are you considered if you win an interim title and then win a unification, are you a two-time heavyweight champion?
Do you where do they fit in like the lineage of that title?
Yeah, where they fit in a lineage, and where does it fit in your career accolades? So like if you win, like say you win an interim title, like an interim welterweight champion, you lose unification match. A year and a half later, you win the welterweight championship from someone else.
Are you just a one-time champion?
Or you're a one-time champion and a one-time interim champion.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I kind
I'm
of want
very
to find
interested.
out. We need to talk some MMA. Like, hey, Bobby Lashley.
Well, Charles,
riddle me
Charles is
this.
a big UFC guy. Even though we won't talk about Izzy getting knocked out because that was shocking.
Oh, Asanya.
No,
Like,
no,
like
no,
a
no,
15-year-old.
no. Adesanya.
Oh, Asanya, yeah, fifth round too.
Crazy. That left, man. That left. So anyway, we got to pick a winner. I'll just go Tony. Yeah.
Tony
I think
Storm,
Jamie's
cool.
going to get a good pop
Who
because
cares?
she's Hayter and everybody loves Jamie Hayter, and she's finally getting out of a shadow of Britt Baker DMD. But
It's an
it is
asterisk.
an
Okay.
asterisk. Okay, so they can be
Fair.
in the
Honestly,
lineage, and
fair.
they'll just be asterisk interim champion, and so people will make their own distinction. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think Jamie Hayter's coming to her own, getting out of like I said the shadow of Britt Baker DMD. But I think Tony wins this.
Is she AEW's Liv Morgan or is she
Hayter?
better?
I think she's better at the moment. I think she's better at the moment. Although I'm big on Liv Morgan post title loss.
I am as well. Not gonna lie. Liv is like, oh, finally, actually
Yeah.
a character.
She reminds me of you've never seen Archer, have you? Okay,
No,
yeah.
we
She
had this
reminds me of
conversation
Cheryl
3 weeks ago.
Tunt from Archer, Liv Morgan these days.
I know this dude. Liv Morgan is just instantly more sexy. She has a lot more sex
Yeah,
appeal.
when she's like, hit me! I'm like, all right.
Yes, ma'am.
But yeah, Tony Storm wins this, I think. Jamie Hayter does a good showing, but she's not ready to win even an interim title at the moment.
She can. Where she just bought one off AEW. I'm the interim champion. I am the interim to the interim. Fuck all y'all.
That'd be great. All right, let's move on to essentially a fatal four-way. The ROH World Title, this should probably steal the show if done absolutely correctly, because there are a bunch of workers in here, and this could either be really good.
Good God.
It could be really good
God.
or really bad.
Dude, Daniel Bryan looks so
He
fucking old
does.
in that graphic. It's like, did they make his beard gray? Like, why does Chris Jericho look younger than Bryan Danielson?
Chris Jericho definitely had the ear of the person who did the graphic card.
Yeah, right?
So we have the ROH World Title, which I'm very upset. I'm not upset they went back to the Pure title, but the ROH World Title that was the World Title before the Pure Championship came back in was a really nice looking title. This one just seems very meh. Anywho, championship belt aside, you have the ROH World Champion Chris Jericho versus Bryan Danielson versus Claudio Castagnoli, formerly known as Cesaro, versus everybody's favorite person that nobody knows in a boxing arena, Sammy Guevara. This could go many ways, and I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't think so. Let's eliminate somebody real quick. I don't think Sammy wins.
I was gonna say,
I think Sammy is essentially your spot monkey because he's the most athletic and still in his athletic prime where he does a lot of crazy shit. But until he gets uppercutted by Claudio.
yeah, I feel like when doing poses, Sammy's like, what was everyone else doing? He's like, I'm just gonna mimic Cesaro. Just to fuck with him. You know, I agree though. It's gonna be a great 450 to an
That
uppercut.
uppercut's
for
gonna be
sure.
great too.
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. New York's gonna pop. The Rock's gonna split. I think Jericho walks out with it. I mean, listen. He's a demo god, or whatever the fuck he's calling himself these days, the Wizard or whatever, 9 Lives Jericho. He did it once before with AEW, carrying that company on his back. It's just the problem with ROH is no one knows what's going on
They
with
don't
ROH.
have a television show.
They got nothing. All ROH is just more titles on AEW Dynamite. Like, there's like literally the other day, like the Acclaimed came out for like a match against or tag. I don't know if it's tagging with or up against FTR, but FTR had 3 titles, and the Acclaimed had 2. But it's like you're the tag champions for your brand look worse than the people who have more belts from other promotions. Like they look like the bigger stars. It's just like it's too many belts.
That's
man.
also an issue. Like
too
like
many
here's
belts.
the thing. I understand the idea of allowing your performers to go to other companies, other territories, and win their belts, and to show up their belts on TV, because that helps everybody involved. I think everybody agrees with that.
Does it
Usually,
though?
but the fact of the matter is, like you said, when you have the team who's not your tag champions having more belts than the team that is actually your tag champions on TV battling each other, it makes your titles look worse, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes your champions look worse. It makes your champions look not as important. And in the grand scheme of things, AEW is a bigger promotion, whatever third string belts.
Well, no, they have a
FTR
AAA,
has.
which is a huge promotion in Mexico. I think it's the biggest one in Mexico, and New Japan's.
All right, in Mexico, but in the States,
But they also have the
third
NJPW
string,
tag titles too, I believe.
which I would say is equivalent
Okay.
to AEW. Because okay. But
Yeah.
it's too many belts. Too many belts, and it just looks weird. And I think on paper, it's a good idea, right? Like when ROH, or even if there's ROH has no TV deal, like you shouldn't have done any of this until you had.
I totally agree.
Like there's nothing wrong with holding off on ROH. It's just like, because otherwise, what's Jericho the champion of?
A promotion that doesn't actually exist.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he's a champion of lineage. He's a champion of memories and video packages.
You know what this reminds me of, actually, now that I think about it? This reminds me of when WWE acquired WCW and ECW by default, and they rushed to put the product out there. Like, remember they the first couple of weeks they took away the last hour of Raw and made it WCW Nitro, and they had nothing, and it looked bad. And that's what it reminds me of.
It's like playing Universe mode in 2K.
Yeah, but at least you can make an arena in Universe mode.
Yeah, but it's like, honestly, if you took out the ROH title from this match, is it really any different?
Probably not. No.
Are there really any stakes on the line here?
Besides the title? No, not really. That's why, because ROH doesn't really exist yet, and ROH isn't reborn yet.
Yeah, like having Jericho be a champion and like carrying that brand, phenomenal. But the brand doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist, which is a shame. And when the brand does actually exist, they need to do everything in their power to make sure they are not AEW light, because you have AEW Dark and Dark Elevation for that.
And it's like, why am I watching AEW to watch
Exactly, yeah. that's exactly the point. It needs to be completely and utterly different.
Yeah, like I keep going back to this point with the AEW. AEW is the answer to why doesn't WWE do this? They go, oh,
that's why.
I guess that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jericho wins.
I can't see Claudio win. I can't see Sammy. Bryan Danielson is a false finish and a half. Yeah, Jericho pulls a rabbit out of his hat because it's Jericho, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
He's moving on.
Totally do not regret putting him on the Mount Rushmore.
Was he on Mount Rushmore?
He was. It was him or Cena. We put him on there instead.
Jericho ahead of Cena? Nice.
Yeah, we did. It was I forget who our 4 was. I just remember Austin and Jericho were on there.
And we forced Kay to give up their Jeff Hardy dream. And CM Punk. Oh, because I think I put Jeff Hardy and CM Punk against each other.
In the same bracket. Yeah, we put them in the same bracket.
Anywho, so it's going to be Saraya, formerly known as Paige's.
Hogan was on there
return, because you can't get rid of Hogan. Saraya, Saraya, aka formerly known as Paige's return match against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. On paper, this looks interesting, and to be honest with you, this is probably the more popular women's match on the card outside of whatever Jade Cargill's going to do. because you have Paige, and there's a draw there because she technically is cleared according to her promo and ready to go. So everybody's gonna be interested to see how she does, and whether or not she's good in the ring or she has any ring rust or whatever, she's gonna beat Britt Baker. You can't. Yeah, you're not gonna sign Saraya, have her come out to all this pomp and circumstance in the middle of Arthur Ashe Stadium randomly, to have her not beat Britt Baker, who is essentially the only woman on your Mount Rushmore of females on AEW.
Yeah. Well, okay, so again, the promo Saraya cut was really weird.
I heard interesting things
weird.
but I didn't get to listen to it. So can you give me a synopsis?
She buried the entire women's division
That's not
for
good.
AEW. It's like it would have been a great promo if she was coming in as a heel.
Huh.
Like, I don't know why Paige isn't a heel. So first off, they made is she cleared, is she not cleared part of storyline, which I don't know if anyone's really buying, because you wouldn't show up if you weren't cleared. Right?
It's the whole reason that you
she
show
was
up
just
to
like,
a wrestling organization. Yeah.
Is to wrestle. And because you're cleared. Otherwise, if she wasn't cleared, she would have stayed in WWE for the paycheck. Now, it is true, I believe WWE would not clear her, which is why she left.
Yeah.
Which, fine, go find a doctor who tells you what you want to hear. That's fine with me.
Work for Daniel Bryan.
So exactly. So she is cleared. But in the promo, she was like, I'm here to start a revolution. And Britt Baker was just like, bitch, get in line. I've started this revolution. And Paige was just like, yeah, but you haven't, though. Like, I'm the best. You haven't wrestled in Madison Square Garden. She pretty much just said, you didn't start shit. You weren't in WWE.
Ooh.
It was just like, she's just like, this is my house. And Britt Baker's just like, bitch, you didn't lay a brick on this foundation. This is my division. Like, what are you talking about? And it's just like, Paige, why are you a babyface here? It was weird. You just go back and watch it.
That is a weird way to comment. I'm here to start a revolution. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, they have tried to do a women's revolution, and that failed 10 times over.
Then honestly, tell that story as a heel. And honestly, Saraya, you're going after the wrong person. Because Britt Baker is that women's division. That's it. It's her. It's her and only her. So to say, like, I'm here to do what you couldn't do, no, she did it. She's the only one doing it.
Well, it was her and Thunder.
You should be fighting Jamie Hayter.
Her and Thunder.
Yeah,
which
pretty
is
much.
A shame. Like, if you look at that division, and Jada's up and coming because she has started her rise, and she's from a social media and I guess marketing perspective, Jade Cargill does great. Yeah, she's great.
Everything. Yeah, she's on the outside
but
looking
like
in.
when you look at that roster of women, especially the people that came over, formerly from WWE, that division should be kicking ass consistently. Like when you have Tony who can go, Britt Baker, who's said that she can go, Thunder Rosa, Ember Moon who can go, Ruby Soho on a good day can go really well. Like, there should be a good nucleus there, but it's just not.
Honestly, it's the same thing WWE had. The talent's
Don't know
there.
what to do with it. Yeah.
There's just no place. Tony Khan's just like women Ring of Honor. Shit. Let's push the show that doesn't exist over people with vaginas.
Well, now that Brandy's not there, he can do whatever the hell he wants. So.
Yeah, I guess.
Although, ironically, I was looking at Full Gear stuff. So apparently, they're gonna have a heels meetup at a suite in the Prudential. You have to be a heel member only. You have to show proof of membership.
Oh, I'll do it. I'll buy it. The guy identifies as a woman. Fuck all you. New Jersey, bitch. You can't tell me when I'm not. We're not in Atlanta.
Nice. Oh man, so they're gonna be a heels meetup, which is interesting. Also, well, I'll talk about that a little.
Because hey, listen, ladies, I'm just being a heel, all right?
I'm just
following
suit.
Just a heel being a heel wearing
everything
heels.
went so wrong with that too. Like again, one of those things. Like on paper, AEW heel sounds like a great idea, especially to bring in.
Did it though? We shut on it
because
was first
Brandy
announced.
fucked it up. That's why. Classic
Brandy. We all know Cody Rhodes left AEW because of Brandy. He made up this whole win the big one bullshit to save face. But you know what? Cheers to you, Cody, and to you, Brandy. Thanks for doing us all a favor. He's like, yeah, it's because of CM Punk.
Son, it's going to be, the sidebar real quick, it is going to be absolutely nutty when Cody's healthy, which should be in a couple of months.
Dude, so I was watching Crown Jewel, and like, you know how they have those video packages instead of commercials?
Oh, yeah, when you have the premium,
in between matches. Yeah. So, Cody's came on, and I was just like, God damn, I can't wait to boo this man. I was just like, I can't wait for him to come back and we boo the fuck out of him. I predicted when he left AEW, we're gonna cheer him. I'm predicting it right now. Hear me now, quote me later. We're gonna boo Cody. We're gonna turn on Cody Rhodes so fast when he comes back.
I think it's.
Dude, he's gonna win the Rumble and go against Roman. We're all gonna boo him.
I think that story is a great story to tell, though.
I know, but we're gonna boo him, dude. We're wrestling fans. We ruin everything. I'm telling you, people are gonna eventually boo Cody Rhodes, and I can't wait for it.
If we boo him to the point where he goes back to dashing Cody and he puts paper bags on people's faces, then I'm all for it.
He's gonna bully him, dude. We're gonna bully Cody Rhodes into being booed.
That's what I want. Dashing Cody to put paper bags on fans' faces, which is like the best Cody ever. Besides this version of Cody.
I mean, here's the thing, dude. We already did it. Exactly. He gets booed by SummerSlam. Thank you, Charles. Because the thing, the storyline of coming back as a triumphant babyface, we already did it. It's already been done, and he got hurt. It's been done. It was a story cut short. It was a story cut short, but it's a story that
had
a
finale with Seth. I mean, because also he fought a match with one arm essentially.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. That's top babyface, dude. You can't. There's no going. You can't top that amount of babyface.
He could get booed by
SummerSlam,
but I think the WrestleMania build, if it's just going to be a true build, he will be cheered, and then the downfall will be at Slam.
It depends who he goes up against, really.
It's a lot to be told, but I can't wait. Like when he comes back, wow, that WWE roster is going to be loaded.
I can't wait to boo him. I can't fucking wait to boo Cody Rhodes.
Absolutely loaded. But yeah, I think Saraya beats Britt Baker because
Saraya wins.
That's what's going to happen. Moving on.
But please turn heel. The women's division needs a great heel, and Britt Baker is ready to be a face.
Here we go. AEW, speaking of AEW tag team titles, AEW Tag Team World Championship match. The Acclaimed are defending against Swerve in Our Glory. Also, another sideberg. I was on Peacock and I was looking at WWE's Best of list. Do you know they had a Best of Keith Lee video package? I was like, really?
Are you sure? Was this highlights of his 24?
It goes a solid 2 hours and change. I was like, wow, that's not bad. But
dude, they need to release another 24.
Yeah, they do. They didn't do a 24 for this year's WrestleMania, which they needed to do.
They usually release it around SummerSlam, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually release one of the big fours. They just didn't do it. The This Is Awesome show is okay.
I finished watching that one. They talked about the weddings. Oh my god, weddings.
The weddings was great. They released another one recently too, but they didn't do Macho Man and Elizabeth. Which what the fuck? That's the wedding. That's the
true.
wrestling
it's
wedding.
The only one that went well.
But the guy who hosts it, I'm just like, I could do a better job.
He's pretty famous actually.
I know, but I'm just like, you're reading a script. I could do better than this.
Yeah. But for this match, Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn in the background because Scissor Me Timber.
Daddy ass, dude.
My God. I'm so mad he didn't show up at the DX reunion because Tony Khan wouldn't let him.
Well, it's because they wanted, like I think AEW in the lower third or graphic. They wanted, some kind
acknowledgement.
Of, yes, and Triple H was just like, no. He's like, do you know who Billy Gunn is? Like, what? Shut the fuck up.
One of the lower third. Get the fuck out of here, Tony. That's asking for too much. I'm interested in this match, to be honest with you. Especially since Swerve seems a little bit unhinged in AEW lately. Like, he just says whatever the fuck is on his mind. And no one's afraid to, like, stop him.
Yeah, dude, he's like, fuck, man, I'm going back to Hit Row.
He was like, well, just like, can you imagine that phone call? Top dollar, what's good, son? What? What? They resigned you?
BFAB 2? Shit.
He comes in, hey, what's going on, Swerve? Nothing. Nothing. I'm fine. Fine.
He's like, hey, bro, they hired your wife, man. They hired your wife. He's like, what if he was just like, yo, lady, I got an idea. We're gonna go out there on live television. We're gonna go 3, 2, 1, and just start singing the N-word song, and that's our promo. And then we just walk out.
Did you imagine? Oh my God.
Or we call Tony Khan a dirty
yeah, that'll do it.
And
that'll
gone.
do it.
That'll do it. Although CM Punk pretty much did, and
we
nothing
haven't
happened.
seen Punk since. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm excited for this. I think this has a lot of potential. I think this is really good. But I think the Acclaimed fends off Swerve in Our Glory. Barely, though. I think you have to run with the Acclaimed.
From what I've heard, the Acclaimed was the dog who caught the car.
Okay, can you elaborate?
Like, or the dog who caught his tail. It's like, okay, you accomplished your goal. Now what? Right? It's just like they peaked. They've plateaued. As champions, they kind of just lost their luster and forgot what got them to dance in the first place. Like, I think Tony Khan pretty much stopped doing the raps for the most part.
That was their thing, though.
Which, that's what I mean. Like, what got them to the dance? Now that they're at the dance, they stopped dancing.
No, you gotta keep dancing,
from what I've heard.
though. You gotta keep dancing.
I mean.
You can't, you never go off a heater.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're still over. I'm still a big fan of the Acclaimed. I was trying to remember when me and Kay went to the first Arthur Ashe show. I'm trying to remember if I predicted by this time next year the Acclaimed would be in the title picture. I want to go back and listen to the episode, but I'm pretty sure I called that the Acclaimed would be in the title picture by the next Arthur Ashe. I didn't think they'd be winning the titles, but I said they'd be in the picture.
Yeah, no, they're good. I like them. I think you got to run with them. I think they're good spokespeople for the show. Everybody seems to love them. You just gotta reinvent them now. You gotta find good opponents for them, and they have to go through all of these tag teams that happen to have titles outside from other companies, and they have to beat them.
I mean, there's plenty of teams to go through. They got.
You know what screws it up? Oh, because apparently the Elite are showing up in Jersey, which yay. You know what screws up with the tag titles? I think you had mentioned this before in a prior show. The trios titles.
Dude, I forgot they had those stupid titles. I totally forgot who holds those titles. You know what? Who cares? I still stand by that. You have one or the other. Nope, not both.
Yeah, it's too much.
Honestly, dude, just like if the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass win the trios titles, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. Charles said, let's Swerve in Our Glory win, just to emphasize the point that they're not where they want to be. That would be great. Wait, AR Fox finally made it to TV? Finally. Finally.
You know what?
Yes,
cheers
absolutely.
To AR Fox,
cheers to
I love
AR
that guy.
Fox.
We got to drink to AR Fox.
That made my night. I am so happy. I will rewatch Dynamite.
We should be smoking the AR Fox, but who gives a shit? I'm out
He
of weed.
smoked enough for everybody. Trust me. That arena probably reeks of weed. Like, there's no air filter in the world that stopped AR Fox.
I mean, it probably leaked.
If you don't know who the hell we're talking about, if you're listening to this show, or you've been watching this show, just go look up an AR Fox match on the internet. You won't be disappointed.
You go to YouTube, type an AR Fox Evolve Laboon. You're welcome.
Yeah. This man has done the craziest shit high. A lot. Were you there? I don't think you were there with me. I went to see an AR Fox match. It was AR Fox versus Tyler Breeze at Evolve at Laboon. You weren't with me. Wade was with me.
I don't remember
AR
that.
Fox versus Tyler Breeze at Laboon.
AR Fox had.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, he was the best of that group.
Yeah, think of the people who came from that group, the Skulk. Leon Ruff came from Swerve. Well, no, Swerve was part of the Unwanted. That was Swerve, Joe Gacy, and Eddie Kingston. Crazy how they all made it. One of the females from the Skulk is now a referee for WWE, but no, AR Fox was the man. Mm-hmm.
Really? The black,
yeah, she's married. She's Leon Ruff's wife.
Chick? Oh, that's
her
from the Skulk.
Not the
Good
one,
for her.
because there was two females. One of them was like AR Fox's like wife, I think, and then there was another chick.
Yeah, because there's a white chick, and then there was that ref.
And then AR Fox's, and say what you want. AR Fox's biggest success is Austin Theory. Austin Theory trained AR Fox. I mean, AR Fox trained Austin Theory. My fault.
Oh yeah.
They had
great matches.
Absolutely.
You're not gonna lie. I would love to be a WWE ref.
You have the height for it.
That would be an amazing job.
Yeah, you have the height.
I do. I have the body for it too.
Be freaking perfect. And as a
as
a ref too, like you get so you're not an independent contractor. You are signed as an employee of WWE, so they cover all of your accommodations. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Because you actually work for the company.
That's fascinating. So you're not considered talent.
Yeah.
What a gig, dude.
The only thing you have to do is get your ear molded for the earpiece. And you do I think from what I've heard, you do 2 matches a night. That's pretty much it.
I wonder how much they get paid.
I don't know. You get 2 matches a night and you get one.
Six figures?
I'd probably say high fives.
You put like $80,000, $90,000 a year.
That's my.
Nah, that's not worth it. I won't do it for. You gotta do 6 figures. Like Mike Chioda and Tim White back in the day probably got close to 7. Earl Hebner,
you probably start.
But little Nate probably gets 7
It's probably
figures.
the what is it? Because those guys developed a character, but those guys were also known to be the best of the best. So I think you start out in the high 5s, low 6s, and then you build your way up. The more they trust you, the more
of course.
Essentially you get a character. Earl Hebner became a character after a while. Little Nate is a character. Kyoto's not really a character, but everybody knows him as a really good fucking ref.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
If you're a new ref, baseline should be 100,000.
So I don't know what their prices is. I'd have to check, but that'd be an interesting thing to look at. But the perks I think would be great. For me at least. Anywho, AEW World Title match. The Acclaim beats Swerve in Our Glory. Let's move on to the head baddie in charge, not Mia Yim, Jade Cargill, defending her TBS title against the quota. Here's a way of doing the interim title the right way in kind of a weird way. So you have Jade, who's the real TBS champion, facing Nyla Rose, who calls herself the TBS champion and kind of stole the TBS title, but not really. Yes,
this
is
shit's
happening.
Still happening.
And to be honest with you, Nyla, happy to have you back. You bring a little bit more character to the women's division, but you're not stopping. You're not stopping the Jade train.
All right, so rookie
You're
refs.
still on this rep thing.
I just looked it up.
Okay.
I looked it up. I was curious. Rookie refs get an annual salary of like $0. They get a $500 per match fee.
Is that on the Indies? I'm assuming.
Maybe this is WWE refs, so probably like NXT house shows, maybe. Like if you're brand new.
All right.
So, females get $150,000 with a $1,000 match fee, and then the professionals get $300,000 with $2,500 match fee. So you get $300,000 base plus $25,000 per match. And then probably
for your
more
higher profile matches
for like for main events, big fours, WrestleMania.
That's
and then females, once they get experience, get bumped up to professionals.
Taekwon saying Charles Robinson is making $250,000 annually from my research. That's amazing.
Yeah, I believe it. I would have guessed Charles Robinson made like $1 million.
Listen, $250 annually is amazing.
No, here it is. So, top 10 highest paid referees in 2022: Chad Patton and Little Nate, $500,000 plus $3,000 per match. I don't know any of these names. Brian Nugent, that's Asian one, $300,000, $2,500. John Cone, $300,000. Aja Smith, Artemis, and Jess, Ref Jess, $150,000.
Dude, you know what I would do with $150,000 base salary? I'd go fucking nuts.
Yeah, dude. Plus all that travel, plus healthcare, plus $1,000 per match.
What I did 4 matches a week, $4,000 in my hand. Do you know how much crazy shit I will do?
Yeah, it'd be pretty wild. Okay, yeah. So Jade. Jade gotta get the title back.
Yeah, it's just they're playing this weird keep away.
I mean, I'm over Nyla Rose. I think the project failed.
Well, she's not with Vicky anymore, right?
I have no idea, but she's not a great worker, and it's hard. I think it's hard for her to work with women.
Huh. Well,
you don't see her on TV. You don't see her on TV that much. Does this thing have a logo on it? It does. 2017. Cool. Yeah, it's just like she hasn't really been used on TV that much. And when she does, she's just. How can you sell? She's too big. Like anything like Jade is probably a good dance partner with her because Jade's strong and can probably lift her, and she's also big. But Nyla's
too big to sell.
If you have Tony Storm chopping Nyla, okay.
Yeah,
that's not.
You got to work around that story. I mean, that's psychology 101. You got to kind of work around with whatever you have with you. So, and you could also argue about Nyla's not supposed to sell, being that damn big.
Okay, but you can't sell, you can't work.
Well, you can sell, but it's kind of like you have to earn your sell. Like, for instance, let's take what was it? The Big you ever hear the Big Show story about him and Austin on like the live events?
Yeah.
Where he was Austin pretty much told him how you can sell and how you cannot sell and all that. It's kind of one of those things that I think big men in wrestling have a difficult time learning how to sell, because at one point you're told you're big, you're not supposed to sell, and you should take over the match, and at times you kind of do have to sell. Brock had that issue for a very long time. you know, and I think it takes a lot of time for them to figure it out. More so than like an AJ Styles, you're you're gonna sell because you're 5'10", and they're yeah, I'm gonna sell. you know?
Yeah. No, the big man's curse is true in wrestling, but it's different with women. Like Nia Jax also kind of had that problem. Like Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss, it wasn't believable because she's just so big. And Alexa's so small.
Are you talking about the Mania 34?
Or like Nia Jax versus Carmella. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying in general, but also Mania 34 because they got that they kind of got second to last.
That
spot,
story was better.
Or whatever.
That story was better. The story sold the match. Yeah.
The story was great.
Mm-hmm.
The build-up was phenomenal. And the match was what it was. I believe Nia.
It was Nia won.
No. They had two matches.
No,
they had two matches, right? Nia got
Nia
the win and won the title.
She had a poor run as a babyface.
Yeah, she
by
got
Bliss.
cashed in on at Money in the Bank like 2 months
Bliss
later.
cashed in on that.
Yeah. It's just not Nyla Rose is just I mean, you can't hide the demand features.
Well, you're never not going to, but
it is what it is. No, it's not her fault. It's just it is what it is.
So, but it's gonna be an interesting match. If Jade can lift her, and if she sells the lift really well, then I think that'll do wonders for Nyla. But we'll see what happens.
If there's anyone who can have a good match with Nyla Rose, it is Jade Cargill. Because Jade Cargill, like I said, strong. I mean, Jade Cargill also has a physique of a man.
She's just fit, dude.
Yeah, she's crazy. It's so scary and sexy. Like Jade Cargill is like, hey, not for me, but for people.
She is just fit. I mean, I just can't wait for her to move up to the actual that too.
WWE.
That too. But like she needs. I'd love her as a 2-belt champion, but that doesn't always work in wrestling. But I'd love to see her go for that world title at some point. Yeah.
When she's ready. Honestly, have her keep this fake stupid title until she's ready.
It works. She is proof that a mid-card women's title could work.
Like the only thing Jade Cargill needs is time.
Yeah.
That's it. And honestly, in wrestling, sometimes it's the best.
Because you know what?
She
she's learning on the go, which is fine. And she has already mastered the marketing part of it. She markets herself wonderfully. The baddie section, and she carries herself
really
well. The baddie section,
great on social media.
The baddie section is one of the most brilliant things that's happened in the past 2 years for AEW and women, or just for wrestling in general. Like, she literally has a baddie section wherever she goes that she self-promoted.
Yeah, like she had a tweet with like the Acclaimed, like a back and forth saying like, my daughter got in trouble for school for saying scissor me daddy ass. Thanks, guys. Just stuff like that, right? That could have not been true. It probably is true, but it could not be true. And it's just like, she's great. She's a star. In the making too, like she's a Star Wars, lot to learn, which is rare in wrestling.
She hasn't hit her ceiling yet, which is crazy to think about. Absolutely crazy. But Jade retains. Moving on to a dinosaur in a cage versus a Jungle Boy also in a cage. Luchasaurus versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And I've seen Jurassic Park tons of times. You never put a dinosaur in a cage. That does not always go well. So based on that, I'm just going with Luchasaurus.
Look, a lot of those MVP behind him. Like, when the fuck did that happen?
Isn't bad that I kind of thought the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's the coloring on the graphic. Luchasaurus wins. I mean, I love me some Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I like how they're calling him Jungle Boy Jack Perry too. It's like, oh, he's grown up now. They don't call him Jungle Man. We'll call him by his real name. He's young. He's younger than me. He's got a long way to go in this business. He can take the L. It's no big deal.
You never bet against the dinosaur in the cage. Like I said, I've seen almost all of the Jurassic Parks. Yeah. I know how this ends. They take over the world again.
Yeah, it ends with Jeff Goldblum with a flare.
Okay.
Sexy pose.
Can you imagine if they did it? Because I would do this just for shits and giggles. I'm an asshole, and I think the AEW fans would enjoy it too. Can you imagine if Jack Perry pulled out a flare in the middle of a steel cage?
Oh, that'd be so funny. Luchasaurus goes up and bites Christian on the head, on the forehead. He's sitting on a toilet.
Newspaper.
You're reading a newspaper? All right, can we take a quick sideberg? All right, that lawyer in the first Jurassic Park, not gonna lie, I would do the exact same thing. I'd run straight to the toilet and hide. That's what I would do with these kids. Why would they cover these kids? These stupid kids. They're not my kids.
Oh my god.
Luchasaurus wins. I mean, Jack Perry, another guy. All he needs is time.
Yeah, he needs time.
In his what Jade needs time for the in-ring.
Out of
Jungle
ring.
Boy needs time for his mic skills.
Yep.
Out of ring.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Moving on to the Battle of the Old Guys, featuring the young kid in the corner. So Grandpa Sting and Darby Allin versus Team Impact, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, because this is a match happening in AEW. I don't know where to go with this. This is...
Yeah, okay, here's what sums up this match. In this graphic, Sting is yawning because even he's sick of this shit. You know Jeff Jarrett is still under contract with WWE?
Contract, right?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it's per Zarian.
He shit on Braun Strowman the other week.
Dude, everyone shits on Braun Strowman.
He's like because I forgot who Jeff Jarrett was. That giant that's guy of Indian descent from that AEW has that came out to that weird pop the no pop at all at the end of Dynamite. He goes, "Our guy's a real monster, not someone who wears tight red jeans." I was like, Jeff, we put you in the Hall of Fame. You come back for Rumbles, and this is how you treat us, Jeff? See how it is.
Yeah, it's like, what? I mean, classic
Seriously.
Jeff Jarrett, just in and out of WWE forever. The guy cannot stay in one company for more than 3 years. He can't do it. Even his own company. I hate Jeff Jarrett. Fuck Jeff Jarrett. He's the fucking worst. Him and his stupid, Dixieland theme song. His TNA theme song is so much. I'm so glad AEW is using his TNA theme song because it's the elite theme song. You know what
I just realized? He was at SummerSlam.
Yeah, he was. Night before he retired Ric Flair again.
He went to SummerSlam, retired Ric Flair, and now he's just up in AEW. Is he broke?
Fuck Jeff Jarrett. I hope so. I fucking hate Jeff Jarrett. Dude, if we're at WrestleCon or Access, and it's a 3-hour wait to meet the Bella Twins and no line to meet Jeff Jarrett, I'm waiting that 3-hour line.
To meet the Bella Twins.
I just can't stand Jeff Jarrett.
This is such a weird match to have on the card. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Also, fuck Jay Lethal. All right, you had one good gimmick 13 years ago for 3 segments. All right, fuck off.
Jay Lethal is it's sad with Jay Lethal because I feel like he's such a wasted talent.
Dude, he's not even a big fish in a small pond. He's a medium-sized fish in a brook.
All right, put it this way. Gimmick aside, is Jay Lethal the poor man's Shelton Benjamin?
Oh. No, he's had more success. I'll even say
Jay Lethal didn't have a world title, so I'll give you that, okay.
It's but it's just dude, Ring of Honor is a pit stop on your pathway to success. You stayed there forever.
Even Mr. ROH left and went to NXT.
That's what I mean.
Even Mr. ROH is like, I'm out, guys.
Everyone who's ever been good
left.
Has stopped in ROH for a cup of coffee and then left. No one good has stayed for more than 5 years.
Except for Jay Lethal.
I'm sure there's one. Yeah, I'm saying I stand by that. Anyone who's good has never stayed for more than 5 years. You know who stays in ROH? People who can't sign anywhere else.
Yeah, it's so bad, Jay Lethal.
Yeah, I'm talking a lot of shit tonight. I love it. It
puts you in a good mood.
It's an upper, dude.
I don't know who wins this. I really don't care. Why is Darby still stuck with Sting? I don't even know as well, but...
Dude, I like Darby.
Aesthetically,
and Sting,
they look.
though.
I
like Darby
great.
And Sting.
I get it.
Yeah, they work. I mean, there's no reason to break them up. I think they should go after the Acclaimed. I think that'd be a great feud.
That'd be good. The Acclaimed making fun of the emo family.
Dude, if you're gonna sign Jeff Jarrett, why is he wrestling? Jeff Jarrett's not a draw. Jeff Jarrett's never been a draw. Jeff Jarrett is mid-card at best. He's good at smacking guitars over foreheads and losing to China. That's all he's good for. And creating a cockroach of a company and a failure of another company.
He's a great mid-carder, though, which is crazy. Nothing more.
Yeah, great mid-carder. Good to get a heat.
Although he is the recipient of the finger poke of doom. Oh, no, he's not the finger poke of doom. My fault. My apologies. He laid down.
He laid down.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Him and what's his name, Russo, single-handedly killed WCW in a Giants jersey,
San
nonetheless.
Francisco Giants.
That was the funniest thing to me, dude. Vince Russo's cutting that promo, burying Hulk Hogan, burying the promotion in a Barry Bonds jersey. So apropos, dude. Who's gonna bury wrestling in a Barry Bonds
Do you know how low the
jersey?
company had to be to have Jeff Jarrett as their world champion?
Yeah. At least Buff Bagwell never won
the
it.
stuff.
Buff the stuff, man.
I love me some Buff the stuff.
Dude, if I had to watch, gun to my head, it's another Bullet or Jeff Jarrett Buff Bagwell match, motherfucker. I don't care how old I am. What's my day is, I'm taking the Bullet. I don't care if I have kids. They're being orphaned.
Listen, I don't know who wins.
Or Darby and Sting.
Sure.
Darby and Sting.
Sure.
Isn't Darby supposed to be a pillar? He's a pillar with 18 cracks in it and being held by Gorilla
The
Glue.
only pillar that stands up on his own is Britt Baker, which is surprising. MJF's rebuilding his pillar, yeah. The most over Jeff Jarrett has ever been is when he had Deborah with him. That's because Deborah took off her top like every episode of Raw.
Oh,
No.
Nitro,
It was when he was
Jeff
on
Jarrett
Raw.
was never-
Deborah was the manager.
So let me tell you, dude, 1997 WCW
Yeah.
with the Four Horsemen. It's Jeff Jarrett. Like, isn't he a Four Horseman? Also, isn't he fucking Deborah McMichael? And it was awful.
Who happened to be
awful.
married to Steve Austin for a considerable amount of time, and then that.
Now, at that time, she was divorcing Mongo McMichael.
And then she dated since she married Steve, right?
And then 1999, she married Steve, and Austin slapped her around a little bit, and they got divorced.
So,
yeah, Austin's a domestic abuser.
there's
Don't
also a
forget
thing
that.
as well. But he makes a great beer, I'll tell you that. You'll find out tomorrow.
Waste of all time.
Whenever you decide to buy it. Yeah, we'll go Sting and Darby just for giggles. I guess. I don't know. Who knows? But that's pretty much the entire AEW card. They're obviously having 0 Hour, which is the name of their pre-show an hour before. It's going to be streaming live on Bleacher Report Live and Fight TV and blah, 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 and all of that stuff. Like I said, it should be a pretty interesting card as long as they hit their marks and that they don't fuck up this finish. That's the big thing with AEW. I'm always concerned that AEW might screw the finish up.
Can always rely on this group of finish.
So that's what's going to be. Depth Triangle is going, and we're going to do this one on the fly. According to Mr. Fretz, breaking news: Full Gear Trios title match. So another title match for Full Gear for the Trios title. It's going to be Depth Triangle versus, lo and behold, the Elite.
Green jacket, blue jacket, who gives a shit? Hope that. That's my answer.
I don't like this for a lot of reasons. My primary reason being you're going to bring back the Elite, the guys who were once your owners of the company, which is what it is. But number two, also involved in one of the worst publicity thing that's happened to your company, and you're going to automatically give them a title shot when they come back in.
Yeah, I agree, but fuck CM Punk. So yeah.
So that's what I'm concerned with.
My twink size will make his ref bump. Thank you, Zaquan.
So I'm concerned about that. This is obviously setting up for the Elite to win. I'd be surprised if the Elite loses, but I think the better idea is have the Elite lose. But I don't think they're going to. But I'm still going to go with Depth Triangle.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. This company needs the young, but this company needs the Elite. I mean, it's all Elite wrestling without the Elite. That's probably why it sucks.
It's become no Elite wrestling. It's new wrestling.
It's where's the Elite wrestling?
So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Which means they're probably putting the Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal and Sting and Darby Allin match on the pre-show now, probably, because that'll.
How they put on the post show when everyone leaves?
that'll get the crowd going. But how good do you think this will be? Let's crown this real quick. 1 crown being the worst show ever. 10 crowns being the best show of all time. So how many crowns will AEW Full Gear get? Will Tarashak?
Dude, probably like a 6.5, man. I don't care, to be honest. I don't care about a lot of this. I'll watch it with a low bar. I'll eat an apple, make sure it's nice.
Yeah. Fretz is giving it 8 crowns. It's a pretty high mark. Here's the thing with AEW pay-per-views is that there's not that many of them. So, which is good, but also, since you don't have that many of them, they have to hit. Like, they all of you cannot have a sour pay-per-view. There's not that. It's like takeovers in NXT did this perfectly. There weren't that many takeovers, but when it was takeover time, everybody was hitting on all cylinders. And I don't feel that way with AEW a lot of the time. Sometimes they stumble into events. Sometimes the events are built up well, and even sometimes when the events are built up well, it crashes and burns like the exploding barbed wire match. Remember that debacle? Remember that debacle? Some of the greatest memes of all time in wrestling when they put it to the Titanic music. Amazing. Amazing. However, this, if you hit this finish, and by the finish I mean if you hit MJF winning this world title in New Jersey, the closest thing you can get to Long Island at the moment, in New Jersey, to the pop of a clearly all Northeast crowd, and it's where MJF is from, I think this makes this one of their better pay-per-views of the year. With that being said, I'm still going to go with a 7. You know.
All right, fair enough.
So let's move on from that. On to some other news. We do have to congratulate the Usos. The Usos are now, after Monday passed, the longest reigning tag champions of the modern era, beating the New Day in another fantastic fucking match. And now we're in the history books. This is crazy that we got the Usos 1, the New Day 2, and these guys have learned to stand the test of time.
Yeah, they played the hits. The match is exactly what I expected. I mean, yeah, it was. Nothing wrong with it. No complaints. It was phenomenal.
Yeah,
exactly what you expect.
I hope one day, and I don't think we'll ever get it unless the powers that be set something up. I hope for one day. I've always wanted to see New Day versus the Elite, which would have been great. But I always wanted to see Young Bucks versus Usos.
I prefer the Usos versus the Elite at this point. I think the New Day ship has sailed.
Without Biggie, it's a hard. They're taking a big hit.
It's still a dream match. Usos versus the New Day versus Young Bucks.
Well, no, the Elite, unlike when they're trios. Yeah, trio.
Oh, you want to do trio then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's much better.
It would be trio. It would be like
better.
the Elite as the trio versus the New Day, but the Young Bucks versus the Usos.
Yeah, I think New Day versus Young Bucks that ship has sailed. Whereas like the care, the story, this wouldn't be as good as it could have been. But against the trios, I think you're 1,000% correct. That flair, that flavor, that desire, that pop, that story, it's all back. And then the Usos versus the Young Bucks writes itself. I mean, if you're saying top tag teams of all time, my favorite's still the Dudleys. I love me some Dudleys. They're my favorite tag team ever. But top 3 tag teams of all time is Usos, New Day, interchangeable 1 and 2, and then the Young Bucks number 3.
Yeah,
it just is. That just
is. How many super kicks do the Usos and the Young Bucks pull off in their match that they face each other?
They only hit super
It is literally, they're gonna call it a super kick party match.
Yeah. The only move you can do is anything else is a DQ.
It'll be like a fucking duel of super kicks. It'll be absolutely amazing.
Ref by Shawn Michaels, but instead of super kicks, he stomps in the corner. Like tuning up the band.
That's a match I want to see.
That would be fucking amazing.
It's like slap fighting, but like more intense. Shit it up.
1, 2, ow! And Shawn Michaels does a back bump.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
That'd be the dumbest fucking
But it would
thing
pop
ever.
so hard.
But it would be so good. It'd be so cool.
Oh my god. First team not to hit a super kick loses. They just blow out their legs hitting super kicks. That'd be amazing. But congratulations to the.
How do you win a super kick match? The last one to blow out their knee. It's a last man standing super kick match. Only super kicks. The last one to blow out their knee is the winner.
That would be it. Oh my god. So congratulations to the Usos. Speaking of Shawn Michaels and all of his cross-eyed glory, made a special announcement for NXT Deadline, which is going to be happening on December 10th, I believe, so in about a month or so from now. So NXT Deadline is going to feature for the first time ever Will Tarachuk, and you're going to have to allow me some time to go through this, but it's going to be called an Iron Survivor match. That is the name of the match. It is called
hosted by Dick Probst.
It's called Iron Survivor, and so here are the rules, and I'm going to tell you what the rules are in particular right now. According to WWE's website, Iron Survivor goes like this. There are going to be 2 Iron Survivor matches, one for the men and one for the women. 5 participants per Iron Survivor match. 5 superstars will compete in this unique 25-minute match. They battle each other and the clock. So it's a 25-minute time limit, okay? 2 superstars will start the match, and every 5 minutes, a new superstar will enter the match until all 5 are in the ring. The goal is to have the most falls when the clock hits 25, so it's like Championship Scramble and King of the Mountain. Falls can be won at any time via pinfall, submission, or disqualification. When a superstar scores a fall, they will earn 1 point. However, when a superstar loses a fall, that superstar must, quote, pay the penalty, and they are forced out of the ring and into a penalty box for 90 seconds. Once when 90 seconds are up, the superstar can re-enter the match. The superstar who has scored the most falls when the clock hits 25 minutes will be named the Iron Survivor and become the #1 contender for the NXT Championship and NXT Women's Championship, respectively. That is Iron Survivor. Immediate thoughts, Will Tarashuk.
Dude, it's just a championship scramble with more steps.
And a penalty box.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. This sucks. What the fuck is this? So 2 challenges start. Every 5 minutes, someone else comes in. But it's 25 minutes. So that means the last person in is going to have like 5 minutes
10.
to get a pinfall. So you don't want the last person. You don't want the last person in the penalty box. What's going to stop a heel from going, yeah, fuck that, and just not doing it?
I don't know. We're going to have to find out. But
like, is this the honor system? Is a boogeyman going to come out if you don't win a penalty box? Like, I have so many questions for this clusterfuck. This sounds really stupid.
it is interesting because I feel like there's going to be a lot of strategy involved in this. It's obviously...
How do you call this match? Vic Joseph.
How do you call this match? How many reps are a part of this match? Who's watching the penalty box? How do you get into the penalty box? Where is the penalty box?
Is there a 90-second clock? Like, is there a constant clock? Like, this is...
And how do you, like...
This bring back a Championship Scramble. I actually liked...
I thought Championship Scramble was great. I wasn't around for Championship Scramble. Like, I wasn't watching, but I played it in the video games. Like, this seems fun.
It's a really cool concept.
You know, I like the idea of a time limit, which is cool. It's like they're trying to mix War Games and King of the Mountain and all this stuff all into one. My question is, you got to create qualifiers, and then from qualifiers, how do you decide who goes first and who enters last? Because the person who enters the match first has the highest odds of winning.
Not only that, too. So, like, what if there's 4 people in, right? So that means there's another 2, that's 10 minutes. So that means there's like 15 minutes left. And someone gets pinned. So there's 90 seconds on the penalty box, and then the fifth person has to come in. So there's a 10 count, and then like the penalty box is like, am I in? Like you're gonna have a clock. You're gonna have a clock for the total time, a clock for the penalty box, and a clock for the 10 count for the next person to come in. That's too many clocks. Who's the timekeeper? Is the timekeeper gonna be like, what the fuck am I doing over here?
Also,
Like,
Charles brings up a good point because they did not actually clarify this as well either. Is it 25 minutes from the start of the two competitors fighting, or is it 25 minutes after the last person enters? Because like.
Then at that point, what's the point of having
five
people come in then?
Yeah, because like in
once.
War Games, the War Games match doesn't officially start until everybody enters the enters the cage.
Yeah, that's fine. That makes sense. That's fine. That makes more sense. It's silly, but that makes more sense. This is just like
that's my timer because if it starts with the first two competitors, then then people coming in are automatically going to be at a disadvantage, which makes it a little bit more intriguing. Because how do you fight that natural adversity? But it seems like a lot. The clock thing is a big thing. Like that's a lot.
There's too many clocks.
You know.
Honestly, take out the penalty box and it makes.
If you
took
out the penalty box and you made this, if Iron Survivor was another way of doing the Elimination Chamber, and you took out the penalty box, it'd be a lot more interesting. So take this concept, take out the penalty box, and put it in the Elimination Chamber.
Dude, you know what this match needs? Pat Patterson.
Yeah, it does.
Because Pat Patterson would be like, let's try us on some house shows because this is ridiculous. And second of all, what the fuck are you thinking, Sean? Are you drinking again? Are you on drugs? Are you fucking Sunny, Sean? Are you fucking Sunny? I know. Hey, I bet Sean get a conjugal visit.
Yeah, like I said, if you put this in Elimination Chamber, this makes it a lot more interesting of an Elimination Chamber match. It also sounds like it would fit in the Elimination Chamber. Like Iron Survivor inside Elimination Chamber, where no one gets eliminated, you have a set time limit, and people come in at intervals.
Yeah, dude, make it a cake that's on fire.
A cake that's on fire, you said? Oh.
A cage. A cage that's on fire.
You're gonna overheat everybody in the arena.
You and this match needs guns. The ref has a handgun. In case anyone fucks around.
I'm interested to see how this goes. It's gonna be really.
I'm not.
Also, here's another question: what if someone?
Stupid.
So what if someone gets a pinfall and that person who takes the fall gets into the penalty box? Then what if another person gets another fall within 30 seconds? Do they go into the same penalty box? Is there a different box? Do they start, what happens if they start fighting in the penalty box?
Yeah, can they pin each other in the penalty box?
Or is it like dodgeball
really
when you pin someone? It'd be like if you take somebody out, somebody from the opposing team gets to go back in.
I guess.
There's a lot. There's this has to be, for no pun intended, it has to be ironed out a little bit more. Here's the thing. I like what they're trying to do, but it just needs to be fine tuned.
Because if you're in there first, you get 2 pinfalls by the time that fifth person comes out. And that person has 5 minutes left to get 3 pinfalls. What? This wasn't thought out.
Or if you are the fifth person, you have the most energy, and that person who's been in you can tire them out, beat them really quickly, and get those quick pinfalls.
Yeah, but you have the least amount of time
that's
to
where
get
the
most amount of
intrigue
pinfalls. Is it, or is it
it's intrigue, depending on how you look at it. Either you're gonna like it or you're gonna hate it.
We need Vince. We need Vince back.
I want to see how this airs out, and who's in it, because they have not named the competitors yet at all.
Dude, I guarantee you, someone in this match is gonna get confused, and it's gonna be Carmelo Hayes.
I was gonna say it's gonna be Vic Joseph. I feel bad for Vic Joseph. He's gonna have so many notes that he's gonna have to take.
Dude, why is Booker T calling this? This is gonna be the biggest clusterfuck ever. But he's like, oh, I don't know what it's called, Nick. The fuck?
I'm all out of shucky ducky quack quacks. Oh my God! Let's move on. We'll iron it out when we get to it. Also, Survivor Series War Games is coming into play. The women's match, for the most part, Mia Yim, as we thought, would join Team Bianca and Friends, and also because Mia Yim joined, Rhea Ripley solidifies Team Damage Control. So you have Damage Control, Rhea Ripley, and a very absent-minded Nikki Cross, which is amazing TV.
I'm about it, dude. This is a good War Games right here.
And you have, Mia and Bianca. So the quick question is, who is the fifth and final member? Because you have a bunch of...
Oh, Beth, Mr. Fresh.
I think,
yes.
I thought about Beth, because
Yes.
Becky would make a lot of sense, especially if you hold her back, but it's Beth going up against Rhea. But...
Yeah.
I think you hold that surprise
idea.
till Survivor Series, though. That's just me. Like, I like the idea of, because it works so well with Kevin Owens.
I disagree only because the internet will ruin it and think it's Sasha, and then be inevitably disappointed when it's not Sasha.
My top three, it's either Sasha, Becky, or Beth.
Yeah, I mean, I think Becky's still hurt. Personally, I have no idea. That's my guess, but. If it's not Sasha, and like honestly, you gotta gauge Twitter, which is a terrible thing to do. Especially this day and age. But you gotta gauge Twitter. You gotta, especially this day and age, you gotta gauge Twitter. You gotta gauge the internet. You gotta gauge what the marks are thinking and saying. Because if they're all saying it's Sasha, it's Sasha, it's Sasha, you gotta nip
pull
it in
the trigger
bud,
now
and
no,
it's not.
Beth, yeah.
Yeah, because instead of being disappointed by Sasha, they're excited for Beth.
I would love Becky just also because, Becky, Boston, Irish girl in Boston.
Yeah, also Sasha.
Also Sasha, but like, here's the thing. With those top three as your respective fifth person, you can't go wrong in Boston.
Correct. Yeah, it's no matter who you pick, it's a win.
So it's what people on Twitter, speaking of Twitter, pointed out in particular, if you look back at the promos for this match on Raw this week, and this could be foreshadowing, or it could be just people on Twitter looking into it. Alexa Bliss is cleverly distant from the rest of the group when they're together. She could pull the Dakota Kai turn.
Dude, I hope Dakota Kai turns
again. She comes out with a brand new haircut. You're like, ooh, she's looking different. Here's also the interesting thing as well. Io Sky, formerly known as Io Shirai, has been in every women's War Games match.
Hell yeah, she has.
So good for her. I'm excited for this. You have enough people who have been in War Games for this to be pretty much a success. Bianca's been in it. Rhea's been in it. Dakota Guy kinda was in it.
She was booked for it at least. Although I did love it on Raw that Doc Gallows had a giant thing of beer in the back.
I thought that was great too. It's like, hey guys, got some beer.
I was like the beer. It's like Medium's like, keep the beers on ice. I'm like, all right, we got beers. You see, these are caps to Budweiser.
You know what? I feel like that's just them too. Like I feel like they just drink beer and just bullshit all the time.
Yeah, I feel like that wasn't even a prop. That's the stuff they had in the back.
That's what they ordered to the arena that night.
Yeah, they just had it.
Absolutely amazing. I love how well Mia Yim fits with them.
They do. It's like they're actually friends. They do fit in really well. It's exactly what I hoped and dreamed of.
I love her nickname.
It's really fun. Yeah, it means crazy in Korean. I thought that was pretty cute too.
It's so good. I just can't wait for her to beat up Shelton Benjamin. You ever hear about that rivalry they have? So so the backstory is Shelton Benjamin and Mia Yim are actually really close in real life. Because Shelton was the one who helped Mia Yim get out of her abusive relationship and her abusive marriage, like way back when. Physically abusing them. So whenever she gets the chance, whether it's on Up, Down, Down, or any, she shits on Shelton all the time.
You homewrecker!
She called.
You ruined my
She
perfectly
calls
happy
herself
marriage.
a Sheltie Slayer. That's what she says on Up, Up, Down, Down. So
Amazing.
I'm just like, when are we gonna have them actually like be assholes to each other on TV? So,
I love it. I love when wrestlers are
it's good.
friends.
So I'm War Games is going to be fun. It's going to be our Thanksgiving episode next week. Jesus Christ.
I will be here for
Wednesday.
that. Yes.
You know, right before we're going to do our Thanksgiving episode. Instead of going out, we're going to be talking wrestling because we're old now. Last but not least, obviously they haven't officially announced it, but they set it up really well. The Brawling Brutes featuring Drew McIntyre. It's not going to be called Thanksgiving Frets. Versus the Bloodline. Versus the Blood.
Don't tempt me with a good time,
the
buddy.
Bloodline is probably going to be our men's War Games match. The Bloodline already had.
Yo, Fret, we got to go out to Fretsgiving.
Ooh, Frets. Well, that's true. Frets, if you're available next week, we can have your Fretsgiving.
Yeah, Frets. I don't know if you guys do anything for Thanksgiving
well, they
in
had
Canada
already. They had it last month.
That's right.
He's available.
So awesome.
Yeah, we'll do
Fretsgiving. It is.
We can do something for that. So it's gonna be the Bloodline, who already has 5 members, versus the Brawling Brutes. There's also 5 members of the Bloodline pending. Roman's gonna fight in War Games, which I think Roman's gonna fight in War Games. Because yeah,
he has to. I mean, the thing is, though, it's just like the club and the Judgment Day have the natural story, but it's like you need Roman in War Games. Like you need
and
it.
you already have that match
hot.
because you have Rhea and Mia in the women's, but you also have just announced, which is going to steal the show, AJ versus Finn. Yeah.
Finn Balor. Yeah, the card's gonna be incredible. I really want to.
I really do. The tickets are mad expensive from a TD Garden. No, I've been looking. I'm like,
oh yeah,
son of a bitch.
Of course it is, dude. Yeah, Boston. Boston is a very, very
I can
expensive
tell by your
city.
ticket prices. The Vazes are still. I'm letting the Vazes know I'm still holding out hope. It might happen. I have connects up in Boston.
You need a place to stay though. You can stay at my parents' place.
Show up at your house. Hey, what's going on, guys? Oh,
yeah.
I also know a really good
room.
lawyer from Ostrich who lives in Boston, and she's fun. But back to this. Roman's going to be there. The Bloodline is going to be solidified. Sammy obviously is probably going to start the match. Here's the question. Who's the 5th member of Team Brawling Brutes? They already did the Sheamus surprise, which is not really a surprise at all because he just left to go get married. So you have Sheamus, Pete, forming also Butch, Ridge Holland, who we've forgiven for what he did to Big E, Andrew McIntyre. Who is your 5th on the Brawling Brutes?
I do think it's Braun Strowman. We mentioned this in the pre-show if you didn't listen. But I do think it's Braun Strowman because this is just KO is injured. That is a goddamn shame. But I do think it's Braun Strowman because I'm predicting that Braun Strowman is going to face Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. I mean, and I'm basing that off Braun is facing Sammy on the house show loop. So that's typically a prelude to what could be coming. But other than that, I have no idea what Roman's next feud is. But I think Rumble's a tough match for a champion who's clearly going to WrestleMania with the title. So it's just like, let's just do a fun match.
Mm-hmm.
I think
which is funny because that's usually what Survivor Series is for. Is like, let's just do a fun match. But it's not anymore now. It's based on something.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be Braun Strowman. It's gotta be someone from SmackDown. It's not gonna be Shinsuke.
No, Shinsuke just got eliminated from the World Cup.
It's not gonna be Ray.
It's not Logan Paul. Logan Paul has one knee, Mr. Frets.
It's not going to be anyone who's in the World Cup, which also World Cup, fantastic. They actually
you want to hear what's
funny?
It's funny. It's the fucking best in the world trophy. It's literally the same trophy. Go look at it. Go look at that and look at the best in the world trophy. It's the same thing.
I didn't know it's the best in the world trophy. That makes me so. I hope Shane McMahon presents it. D'Lo Brown would be absolutely incredible.
It's bobbling cat.
Farouk.
Oh my god. Maybe it's. Oh no, I was just saying Corbin. Who is a hot babyface on SmackDown? Because I think they have them all now.
Rick Boogs.
Could you imagine that Rick Boogs is the 5th guy, guitar and all?
No, it's definitely Braun Strowman.
It's not LA Knight, and it's not Bray.
I mean, think, dude. You got the what fits the brawling brutes, right? This fighters,
Yeah.
brawlers.
Yeah, okay. It's not.
Braun Strowman
Mr.
fits.
Fretz, it's not Seth.
It's not Seth. He's gonna face Austin Theory or Bobby Lashley, triple threat. Maybe.
That's gonna be a fun match. Yeah,
that would be great. Triple threat.
I think Braun is your front runner. I feel like they're gonna reveal this on SmackDown this week. So, which?
Well, they gotta figure out what they're gonna do with Bray Wyatt. No, I can't see it being Brock.
Brock did his crown jewel one-up. He's fine. Brock's going away for a while.
Yeah, Brock's facing Bobby at WrestleMania.
Oh, it's gonna be fantastic.
It's gonna be so much
That is
fun.
worth a trip over to the West Coast. Bobby Brock. Yeah, no, Kurt Angle does not come out in Shield gear. Although that was funny that one time he didn't come out in Shield gear.
Dude, he looked so happy. I'll never forget the look on his face. He's like, yeah, I'm doing this.
Oh man, yeah. There's a lot of injuries right now, but I think Braun is your front runner for this, and that's gonna be a vicious match, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a
lot of fun.
It's gonna be rough. My only concern is there's nobody that will be potentially in there that's done a War Games match.
No. That's fine though. It's just 2 rings and 2 cages. Like, it's not
Just gotta learn to walk between both cages, which takes some.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. The only difference is just maneuvering the ropes. The only difference is the
yeah, and there's that weird steel connector. But
yeah. So it's like Braun just gotta step over 2 ropes. Roman, you gotta step over 2 ropes. Usos, you gotta jump over 2 ropes. Sammy, you gotta jump over 2 ropes.
Sammy.
Solo, just
don't hurt me.
Down,
just
fuck up.
Stop looking menacing. Just don't hurt me, Solo. That's what you gotta say. Don't hurt me, Solo. Yeah, that is pretty much it. Oh, that's right. Pete Dunne was in War Games. My apologies, correct. But it's not Pete Dunne, it's Butch. It's a different guy, obviously. Butch has never been in War Games. Pete Dunne, tons of times. But yeah, that's it for this week. It was a great 316 episode, although I wish Kay was here. Rest in peace, Kay. They already started trending rest in peace Jimmy Fallon on Twitter, and he's not dead at all. Nothing. They just said rest in peace Jimmy Fallon. It's just a troll job.
Well, I guess rest in peace was his career.
He's still got something, right? Cheering one more time. For 360 there.
Dude, do you see Jimmy Kimmel was just like in an interview? He was just like, man, you know how hard it is not being able to make fun of Democrats on TV. I lost half my audience.
Jimmy Kimmel? He still has a show?
Jimmy Kimmel was like he has late night. He was because the executives told him not to make fun of Democrats.
That's their problem.
And he was pissed because he's like, I lost half my fucking audience. I'm a hack now. Like, yeah, you are. I'm glad you know you suck.
Well, that's the executive's problem, which it sucks for him.
It is. I mean, it's also Kimmel's fault too. I mean, he could just leave and be even more irrelevant.
I don't know. Money talks, though. I don't know how much is getting paid, but like.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I was Colbert, Kimmel, Fallon, don't make fun of Joe Biden. Sure, add another 0. Just add one more 0. I won't make fun of anybody. I'll suck his dick if I have to. Yeah. Honestly, fuck you, Colbert, for selling out. But where do I sign?
Listen, I love Colbert. Colbert played a Republican on TV. It was great for so long.
I know Colbert was so good in Comedy Central, and then he became Colbert on. He became
his real self.
Yeah, it's awful.
We can talk about that on the post show, but I did love the juxtaposition because you went from Daily Show to Colbert, and I was like, wow, that's balanced. But we can talk about that. We can talk about that later on the post show.
And I know you love Trevor. Noah,
Mr. Dua Lipa. That's what we're calling him these days.
I can't believe he's fucking
I have a fun Trevor Noah pack for you after the show's done. We'll talk about it on the post show.
Love it. He doesn't deserve Dua Lipa. All right, he doesn't deserve that sweet puss.
Well, he's leaving soon to go back to stand up.
He has a new special out. I think it dropped soon, or it just dropped on Netflix. So, good for him. Yeah, I'm sure his career will be great in obscurity and nothingness. The blank void that is his career.
I'll do like anyway. We can talk about that on the post show. But yeah, let's get out of here. That's true, friends. We never did get John Stewart versus John Cena. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode number 316, our monumental 316 episode of Kings of the Rings podcast, celebrating all that is awesome 316, which pretty much means we drank some beer while doing the show. I've been your host, King Ricky Rose. Find me Ambassador Biggs across all social media outlets, BIGZ, Ambassador Biggs, Kings of the Rings podcast at KOTR _podcast across all social media outlets as well, including Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Discord, Facebook, at KOTR _podcast. Like, share, subscribe. And if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast listening site, make sure you're listening to us and subscribing to us on Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure for the common wrestling podcast. And follow Wrestle Addict Radio socials at Addict _Wrestle on Twitter and Wrestle Addict Radio across all the other social media outlets. We reviewed Full Gear, we drank some beers, we're missing K. Murphy yet again, but have no fear, Frets is going to be here next week for our Thanksgiving, Fretsgiving, Survivor Series War Games Spectacular, which I'm not actually going to name the title of the show that, but we'll see what happens. We'll Tarashak. Yeah.
Little too long. My name is Will Tarashak. That's T as in Thomas, ARASHUK. My podcast with Chris Engelbert, the financial advisor, planner, whatever. Talked almost 2 hours with the economy. It was great. Had a great time listening to it. A lot of fun stuff going there. I got a little angry on that one too, so that was fun. Next week I am off because it's
you're gonna be
Thanksgiving, but more things. For the Talk My Tower Shucks. More things coming. Fun. Hit that donation tab. Give us some cash. Support the product. I've raised $1,100 by myself. If you can believe that. $1,100 by my fucking self. So keep that money flowing, motherfuckers.
Yes, indeed. Don't forget this Friday, folks, on Wrestle Addict Radio, I'm going to be part of the WrestleMania podcast as we review an epic Survivor Series, I believe 2005 or so. Yes, you did miss a show, Matt Riddle. Welcome to the show, Matt Ritter.
Yep, got him.
But I will be on the WrestleMania. We're going to be looking at Survivor Series from Madison Square Garden. Yes, the Survivor Series where Elimination Chamber first debuted. So please check that out. Sorry, Riddle. Sorry about that, Matt. My apologies. Anywho, it's been a long show. It's been 316 episodes. We've been drinking Austin beer. It's been a great time. Hopefully K. Murphy will be back. But next week, our Thanksgiving Survivor Series War Games episode featuring Mr. Frets, it is official. We will see you then. But so goodbye, good night. Enjoy Full Gear, hopefully, and fuck you, Slack. Yeah.
Got him.
All right, so welcome to our poster, folks. So I'm actually reading this American lager beer that Austin has. So it's called Broken Skull American Lager. It says the beer is the ultimate reward for a hard day's work. Brewed with the best American-grown barley and hops, Broken Skull American Lager goes down as easy as a 3-day weekend. Cheers to those who are out there earning it.
Amen, Stone.
I'm telling you, Will, you're gonna love this beer. I don't know how you feel about the IPA, but the American Lager, I think you will go nuts for.
I don't like IPAs. I'm the worst drinker. I'm such a bitch with alcohol. Like, I'll call myself a bitch from a bitch. I'm a bitch with alcohol.
Yeah, sorry, Matt. I'm smacking it raw. My apologies. Of course,
I'm not.
We got to figure out. We owe him a show. We do have to owe him a show. Well,
yeah, it's just Friday at like 10 o'clock at night. It's tough.
For those people who aren't owls. So here's a Trevor Noah fact. So do you remember, you saw, I know you didn't see the second Black Panther, but you remember the first one, right? You know how Shuri, who's T'Challa's She has
His
the
sister,
she has
right? The comedic. The
yeah,
comedic
she has a
character.
talking AI in her lab. That's Trevor Noah.
Yes.
I didn't
Is it
know either.
really?
Charles had to tell me. No,
I thought it was
it's
a woman.
Trevor. And he's back in the
Sounds like a
second
woman.
one too as the talking AI. I was like, wow, that motherfucker's making
You know what?
bank.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
That's like how no one knew who Paul Bettany was until he played Vision in real life. You ever hear a story about how Paul Bettany got the job to be Jarvis?
No.
So him and Feige knew each other from whatever projects they had done before, and like Paul Bettany's a great actor. Like he was Chaucer in A Knight's Tale. You ever saw Heath Ledger's A Knight's Tale?
I think I. s-
Oh,
I don't think
A
I saw
Knight's
A
Tale's
Knight's
a
Tale,
brilliant. Paul Bettany's brilliant in that. So, and he's like, you'll see it now and be like, Jarvis, is that you? Because it's just his voice. So Feige hired him. He's like, yeah, I need a really boring and calm voice to play Jarvis. And so that's how he got the job. And so
that's
I
all
don't
you
know.
need.
Well, you saw Infinity War at least, right? So you know how
Yes.
the AI, how Tony Stark's AI changes to a female who's Friday. That's his Paul Bettany's wife.
Uh huh.
So they kept. I wonder how much money they made off of just being voice actors.
A lot.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a Marvel product, right? They probably not as much as you'd think, but
still good.
still a lot.
Like I feel like Marvel has low key bankrolled these Fast and Furious movies because they had Vin Diesel say "I am Groot" 1,000 fucking times. But as well, speaking of which, so Chris Hemsworth has a show on Disney Plus, called Limitless. It's a Nat Geo show, and it's pretty much like testing the limits of his humanity to find ways to live longer, which sounds weird. So like the first episode I watched before our show, he's doing like he's trying to test the limits of his stress and figuring out how to conquer stress and how to remain calm in intensely stressful situations. So he's working with a psychologist, and she's like, yeah. So at the end of the show, essentially what he does, he goes to the top of a building in Sydney, Australia, that's like 900 feet in the air, and he's walking across this like very small plank. That's like the ultimate.
Nope. No, he's not. Not me. Absolutely not. Fuck all of that. I don't have a fear of heights, but goddamn,
So
I do
they
have a fear
go.
of falling.
So here's the thing. So he's working with a psychologist to teach him how to like breathe and box breathing and all of this stuff to help kind of like control his stress levels. Which actually there is a scientific component to it, which they break down, which I think is really cool. It's probably because it's a Nat Geo show. So the first thing she does is that she puts him in. They're in like this lab or this open space, and they put him in virtual reality, and he has to try to practice walking across this tiny plank in VR. And so they rig him up and they simulate him going up and stuff, and so you can't see anything because obviously you're in a VR headset. And so she's checking all of his levels and stuff. But the funny part about it is, so he does it and he's kind of so with it. But he has a couple of his personal friends with him, and one of his friends does, and his friend is like deathly afraid of heights and falling. So they're encouraged. So his friend's in the VR set, and it's such a dick move. And he's doing By the way, they're on ground. So they're walking on like on a construction plank that is on the ground, but they're in the VR headset. So they think they're in the air, essentially. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's walking,
Jesus.
and then all of a sudden they're encouraging. Chris Hemsworth pushes him. Why? he automatically collapses to the ground. The headset flies up and goes, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's not real, it's not real, it's not like he watches this guy's life flash right before him because he thinks he's about to fall off of a virtual reality like simulation. I was like, oh my god, that's nuts. They also made him do other challenges. So this one challenge they did, he was working with Australian Special Forces because they have those. And they were...
I'm sure they're really good.
The training that they had him do was fucking nuts. So picture this, Will. So they went to one of the Olympic, the Olympic pool, the pool that they made for the Olympics, essentially when they were sitting there in the 2000 games. And so they brought him to Australian Special Forces, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna do this training that's pretty much intentionally drowning them. So he has to do these aquatic activities with his hands and legs bound together. So like his hands are tied behind his back, and they tied his ankles together, and he has to do these different things. The guy was like, swim a lap, and I'm just like, how is he swimming a lap? He can't like.
That sounds rather difficult to impossible.
Well, yeah, it's made to teach. It's there to teach special forces people like how to remain calm and how to stop you from drowning. Because when most people drown, it's because they panic.
Yeah.
You know, you panic and you're like, oh my god, I'm drowning, and then you actually drown. Exactly, and then you're done. Yeah.
Drown, you die. You die. So you die.
Yeah, and then there's another one is that they put him they had him simulate trying to take people out of a burning building, which is also interesting as well. So it's an interesting show where he's like testing his limits. I think the next episode he's like swimming in the Arctic or some shit like that. Like freezing water.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that.
I mean, Chris Hemsworth is naturally funny, especially if you saw Thor Ragnarok. Like, he's naturally a funny guy. So to see him test himself and actually, like, kind of be a dick outside of Marvel is really funny.
Yeah, I don't like.
You didn't like Funny Thor?
I mean, I liked it once.
Did you see?
I mean, he's a god of thunder.
Did you see Bro Thor?
Like, I always picture Thor as a badass.
You saw Bro Thor in Endgame, right? When he got fat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, why is Thor comedic relief? Actually, why are all these characters comedic
Bradley
relief?
Cooper's the best one playing fucking Rocket.
Yeah, I mean, he's a raccoon.
He's a raccoon that doesn't know he's a raccoon. Because he was cybernetically built.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a backstory they haven't gotten into yet. So he doesn't know he's a raccoon. So like I freaking like Guardians 2, people call him a trash panda, and he doesn't understand what that means. Or he gets upset when people call him a vermin.
Trash panda.
Listen, man, it's great stuff. Have you started watching? You haven't started watching Andor again, have you?
I have not.
I haven't watched this week's.
Dude, I've been gaming a lot. I haven't been watching that much TV. I'm just like, I want to play a lot of video games.
Dude, I understand.
That's what I've been doing.
I totally understand. Wow. Rizzo's been talking ever since he resigned. That motherfucker is happy.
What do you mean? He likes the Yankees, dude. What can you say?
Mr. Fretz, I'll guide you through it. You're going to be on Skype. I'll handle the rest. Don't worry about that. Watching Andor next.
Yeah,
Charles, wait up on watching Andor. We can probably stream that shit together because why the fuck not? I'm ordering Full Gear, so I'll have something to say. Oh my god, you can be our Full Gear person because more than likely, Will and I are not going to be ordering Full Gear.
I'm not ordering it. I'm not gonna watch it either. I gotta find 4 hours of my day to watch it. Good luck.
So he said, Rizzo, fresh off a new contract, Anthony Rizzo hopes Aaron Judge also returns to the Yankees, quote, for the sake of the game.
Oof. Jesus. A heavy statement right there, Rizzo.
I feel like Rizzo knows something that we don't know.
Yeah, Judge wants fame. What a shock. He wants glory. He wants to be remembered as one of the greatest. I mean, if you want to be one of the greatest ever, you stay in the Yankees and you be the greatest. Like if you can be one of the greatest ever, and you start in the Yankees and you finish in the Yankees, guess what? You're gonna get your number retired. Guess what? You're gonna get a monument in Monument Park. And guess what? You're going to Hall of Fame as a Yankee.
No, it's like, not Scott Brosius. Like Scott Brosius does not have one yet, but he's close.
No. And my dad was telling me, that's what he did with Bernie Williams. They're like, listen, Bernie, if you stay, you get your number retired and you get a monument. And if you're good enough, you go in the Hall of Fame. And he got 2 or 3. That's not too bad. Not too bad.
So, what else does Rizzo say? Because I hope Judge stays just for the sake of the game. Rizzo said Wednesday because you see a lot of franchise icons not getting what they deserve for the team, but they have done so much for. Also true.
Also true.
You know.
I think Steinbrenner and Cash.
They're not dumb.
I don't think they're gonna let him go. I just don't see it happening.
Steinbrenner came out and said he wants Judge to be a Yankee for life, which no shit.
Everyone wants Judge to be a Yankee for life. Like I like how these articles like the Giants have a chance. I'm like, no, they don't. Shut up. The Giants. Yeah, maybe if they were still in Brooklyn.
So Rizzo also went on to say, my wife Emily and I really love it here. So that's why Rizzo stayed, because his wife said, we're staying.
Fair enough.
We love Yankee Stadium. We love going to Yankee Stadium and playing at the park every day.
Yeah, he loves hitting. He loves hitting in Yankee
Stadium.
Stadium.
Think about it. He's going to be so much better because you can't ship anymore. I don't like it. I don't like it either because I feel like you should be able to ship because like that's gamesmanship.
Dude, just learn to hit the opposite field. Make adjustments. Bunt.
Honestly,
bunt it down a line.
I've played Road to the Show and we've shipped it over and the fucker bunts. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, like changing the shift rules so you can get more hits and base. Shut up. Hit better. Yeah, I thought you were professionals. Very soon they're going to give whoever loses the World Series rings as well.
I also like the contract we signed Rizzo to.
3 years?
$6 million buyout option. So if he sucks after a year or so, we can buy him out.
Yeah. Great. He's getting up there in age, too. He's great defensively. Rizzo is phenomenal defensively. His offense is good enough, and his average is low. But
I feel like his average. I feel like since you can't ship, his average will be a lot better.
Probably. Great for the locker room.
He's a great face of the Yankees, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He's like I said, he's an Italian playing baseball in the Bronx.
Shit. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. What else do you want?
Hey, Rizzo, my boy Rizzo here. Come on, guys.
The only thing would be better if like his uncle was black or someone in his family was black. That's the only way.
Oh shit! Sorry. I was watching an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Speaking of black people, and fucking, I know you hate Andy Samberg, but Tim Meadows guest stars on the show for 2 episodes.
I do love Tim Meadows.
So essentially, really they're in jail, and Tim Meadows plays a cannibal. And the jokes just keep coming and coming. Like, Tim Meadows just relates everything to him. Like, he's like, oh, you killed 9 people. He's like, I didn't eat 9 people. I ate 9 children. And he's like, what? It's like, come on. He's like, I'm a cannibal, but I'm not that good of a cannibal. I went after children. Come on. It's Tim Meadows. I've seen Tim Meadows live. He's hysterical. He came to my college actually. He did because
That's pretty cool.
he was doing an improv show. He did a touring improv show, but he also did some stand up. I remember, and you know how comedians are, and Tim Meadows is like a pro among pros of comedians. Some dumbass in the crowd tried to heckle Tim Meadows during his stand up. And he did it once and didn't do it again. Yeah.
That didn't work.
Yeah, no, Tim Meadows is fucking good. I remember that line to get into his show was out the ass. And this was right when he was coming off of the Ladies Man fame. Just fucking great. I fucking love Tim Meadows. Oh my god. But yeah, dude, American Lager. You will tell me when you drink this, because I think you'll be like,
I will.
yes. I am very impressed by this.
It's a lager. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. Tim Meadows is from the best era in SNL history. I'll be honest with you. The only SNL I watch consistently is I enjoy fucking Weekend Update, because I think Weekend Update's fucking ridiculous.
Historically, yeah.
Like back to when Colin Quinn was running Weekend Update. But here's my question. Speaking of random fake TV news shows, what was it? It's also weird that Scarlett Johansson's husband is the one of the leads in Weekend Update.
Did you watch
I
Chappelle's
did not.
monologue?
I heard mixed reactions.
So here's the thing about Chappelle's monologue. It's really sad that the guy has to walk on his hands on a floor full of broken glass and not cut himself in order to deliver comedy to that kind of an audience. And he does it perfectly. He crafts his jokes he does comedy via a lecture. Because that's how you got to give comedy to like people who are like
The
crazy
last
Democrats. And they still shit on
the
him
last
for it.
one I saw is one right after they called it for Biden, and Dave Chappelle just so happened to be doing that SNL.
No, they scheduled him.
They
after
did him. They
elections
did him on purpose again. Well, this time they did him on purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the last 3 times he's been on, he's been after like the Saturday after.
But it's also
elections.
because the ratings spike for him too. Like he's great for SNL.
Yeah, because he's the biggest comedian alive.
So yeah.
And there's stupid pussy writers like we're gonna boycott allegedly.
I feel like the
you.
last
You're not
time I
big
saw
on-
a Dave
you're not big on
Chappelle, last
Chappelle.
time I saw a Dave Chappelle episode of SNL after Biden was called the winner of the election, it was literally just an episode of a Chappelle show on SNL. I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus, like, what did he just call up Neil? Like, did he just call up?
Pretty much, yeah. Like Neil Brennan, let's go.
Who Neil had a fantastic stand up on Netflix for a while. It's called Three Mics.
Yeah.
Neil's fucking.
Yeah, he's
hysterical.
hilarious. He's hilarious. Yeah, his monologue's good. He talks about Kyrie, talks about Kanye, talks about the Jews. He's just like he makes good points. I'm not gonna talk about the Jews because that's sacrilege.
Oh, I did hear his
But
point
he
where he
makes good
said
points.
a group of black people, it's a gang. A group of Italian people, no, a group of black people, it's a gang. A group of Italian people, it's a mob. Group of Jews, you don't talk about that.
It's a mob,
or something
it's-
like that.
You don't talk about it. Yeah. It essentially is just like, hey, leave black people alone for commenting on Jews. Was another one of his points. But like,
That's
he's
such
like,
a
it's just so he's like, I've been in Hollywood,
too.
and a lot of them are Jews. But he's kind of like, well, who cares? He's like, a lot of people are in Compton are black.
That's
Who
such
cares?
a layered
You know
joke
what I mean? Like,
too.
yeah, like all of his jokes are layered. That's my point. Like, he had to tiptoe and be so careful with his words. Like walking on, you know the term walking on eggshells? Yeah, he walked on his fingertips on eggshells. And he still pulled it off, and he was still called transphobic. He was still called anti-Semitic. It's just like, the guy can't buy a fucking vowel.
There was, in that in particular, because I saw somebody break down that joke about, group of black people as a gang. group of 10 people's a mob. He's like, the fact that he had to set is like, think about that. No one laughed at the setup, but everybody laughed at, you know, the Jewish part, which is a crazy social commentary in and of itself that's been so accepted. You know, but the Jewish thing is the thing that got him in trouble.
Yeah, that too. And it's like also the head of these companies they're Jewish. That's just a fact.
A lot of the time.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. They're really good at business. Like what? It is what it is. It's just a fact.
I'll have to listen to his monologue. I know it's on Peacock.
His social commentary is always
He's
very
you know what
spot
I
on.
you know what I attribute I was going to say David Attell, but no, Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, he's kind of like a Jay-Z of commentary where you have to listen to him a couple times and be like, oh, he actually meant that. You know?
Yeah.
Because like I'll listen back to a Jay-Z thing and be like, son of a bitch, I never knew you actually meant that. You know, things like that.
I don't like it when comedy is like a lecture.
Oh, his
But
style.
if you're gonna go on, if Dave Chappelle, I'm just saying that's like that style of comedy where it's like you have to lecture people. But it's like if Dave Chappelle is gonna go on SNL, he has to lecture.
Was he still
because that's
smoking
the
on camera
audience.
too? They allowed
No,
him
I
to
don't
smoke
think
one
so.
time.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, damn, that's big Dick Dave out there.
It's really funny. Isn't it 1 year they went from Bill Burr to Dave, like back-to-back weeks?
God damn, dude, Bill Burr is an absolute savage.
I love Bill Burr. He's absolutely hysterical.
Bill Burr
says what
Bill
Dave
Burr
Chappelle
is.
can't. And they still.
I don't know about that. Dave Chappelle gets more hate than Bill Burr.
Which surprises. I feel like Bill Burr.
By far.
And which is surprising. I feel like Bill Burr says way more outlandish shit.
That's what I mean. Like Bill Burr goes after the transgender people way more than Dave Chappelle. Like a lot harder than Dave Chappelle does.
So, it's when I remember what was it? I feel like someone tried to go after Bill Burr for some shit because he did like. I don't know, it was something, he made maybe like a black people joke or something like that. Something that was probably hysterically funny. And he was like, dude, I'm married to a black woman.
Yeah, he's like, my kid's black. You go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no, it's great.
He's like, yeah, you can simulate with black friends. Why don't you fuck one of them? And you knock them up. And you marry them. Can I still raise the black people like marry a black woman? Like, are you sure? I'm so racist. I'm gonna stick it to him that way.
Bill Burr comedy Bill Burr has me cracking up a lot of the time.
His new special at Red Rock Canyon, whatever it is in Colorado or Arizona, was really good. It was
the last
really
stand-up
good.
I listened to was Titus's new one, called Zero Side Effects. It's really funny. His thing, Zero Side Effects, is just him talking about, like, the pandemic. And it's fucking brilliant. He compares the pandemic to, like, the pandemic and and getting the vaccine to, like, dealing with different women.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, that's great. We need comedy right now. We need good comedians, and thankfully we have.
I gotta.
So
Zero Side Effects, I think, just hit Apple Music. I don't know if you still have it, but you should listen to it. It's fucking brilliant.
Comedy's never been better.
To one of Titus's things, he talks about how he's been shitting on millennials for a long time because of the trophy generation. He's like, I gotta apologize to the millennials and Gen Zers. Because if you look at the past 30 years, they've lived through some shit. He's like, they went from 9/11 to a financial crisis to Trump to another like he just rattled off all to a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. And he's like, millennials, I'm sorry. Enjoy your participation trophies. You deserve it.
Yeah.
I forgot, but I was like, yeah, it's true. We have been through a lot of shit. So.
It's only a matter of time before everyone makes the playoffs.
What, in baseball?
In any sport. Dude, I do think mean, I did like the expanded playoffs for the baseball. I thought it made sense. I like the 3-game
Yeah,
series on the
that's
road,
right.
but it's just it is a side effect of the
also a side
participation
effect
trophy
of money.
generation.
I understand why the
That too.
NFL did it because the NFL wanted more
That
money.
too.
The NFL was making money out the ass anyway, so like, why not more? Uh,
They're like, listen, if we expand the postseason, we make more money.
which is a shame because I
true.
didn't want it to work as well as it did this past year. No, football.
For baseball or football? Or
No,
both?
baseball I could understand. Baseball, fine, whatever, make it work. Football I didn't because I love the football strategy. But then like every game last year in the playoffs was really fucking good, and I was like, God damn it. You know, but
Yeah.
you gotta stop it at some point.
Yeah, like listen, you guys are winners,
Yeah.
you guys are losers.
Yeah,
Get
and I
over
think-
it. Here's your $1 million check. Now fuck
Yeah.
off to the preseason.
But I think the NFL will stop there. I think baseball is at a perfect spot. Hockey, I think, is great. Hockey has it down packed. And the NBA, fucking flawless. They figured it out. Except for the play-in
You can be
bullshit,
under
which I hate.
500 to make the playoffs. I don't think 18, like half the league makes the playoffs. That's bullshit. 18
Well, now
per
you have this
conference. That's
fucking play-in
ridiculous.
round robin for the 8th seed. The NBA
what's
mini
that like?
tournament. It
sounds
is really
really
dumb,
dumb.
and I hate it. But they fucking swear by it. I have not seen the Titus reunion special. I do listen to Titus's podcast on a weekly basis because I think he's hysterical, and he's him and his wife and the other guy that they have on the show are really funny. And they've also put me onto a lot of great products like Liquid IV and a bunch of other shit that I use on the regular now.
Yeah, dude, podcasting. Honestly, I've had some great products from ads.
Seriously,
on
I look at one
podcasting.
because like you'll listen to a podcast enough, and you're like, you know what? They keep talking about it. I might as well go see what's going on.
I don't have a problem with my dick, but Blue Chew sounds really good right now. I did get
Did you?
Raycons, the Ray J's
Yeah, how are
wireless
they?
earbuds.
Really?
Phenomenal. They're outstanding. Their battery lasts forever. They're comfortable, and they're
Nice.
amazing. Absolutely outstanding. Highly recommend.
We're not
They're
getting
amazing.
sponsored by Manscaped, although I hear good things about that.
Also, heard great things about Manscaped. Tiege Hanley skincare products. from
I
them.
got put on the Harry's from Titus. The Harry's products are really good. That's my jam too. The Good IB Harry's. They're about to put me on the Butcher Box, and now that I got an air fryer, I really want to do Butcher Box.
Butcher Box is expensive, but I really want to do
Well,
Butcher Box as well.
and the promotions always change. So they just ended their promotion where they were going to give away a full turkey for Thanksgiving for your first box. But the promotion now, which I'm going to pass at the moment, is a lifetime of ground beef for however long you have your subscription. Which, like, I love ground beef, but I don't want to cook ground beef all the time. Like, it's easy, but like I don't want to like always mess around. It's too easy.
It's
yeah.
too
It's
easy.
like-
It's all
Yeah.
reliable.
But I'm very enticed by Butcher Box. I'm like, oh, I can get all this meat and then just put it in the air fryer and do all this stuff. So I'm very intrigued by it. But I do want to try Butcher Box when they have a better promotion. Butcher Box, and I want to try Athletic Greens, but Athletic Greens is also expensive as fuck too.
All those subscriptions.
I know. It's really a shame, but
Gotta make money. I mean, it's tough too because revenue from advertisers on like podcasts and stuff like that is low and it's declining. So, like, say we even got a sponsor right now, we would make a lot less money than we would have a few years ago because the consumer doesn't have money
Yeah.
to spend on them. So the ads are just ineffective.
so. But yeah, I do want to try. If I do try Butcher Box, I'll let you know how it is.
Well, I know how it is. It's incredible. You need to tell me twice.
Yeah, Butcher Box might be my jam because Charles said he did it for a while, and he was like, "How is it?" He's like, "It's good." He's like, "It's a little expensive, but he's like, that's all the money I like. That's more money I can spend going to the grocery store buying produce. And I was like, oh, that makes a whole lot of sense. Because when you think about it, what's the most expensive thing that you pay for at the supermarket is the meats.
Yeah. Definitely the meats. Because they're all owned by 4 companies. So it's like we have monopolies in this country.
Yeah, look at Ticketmaster the last couple of days.
Dude, Ticketmaster, meat processing, entertainment. I don't want to talk about the Jews again. But like entertainment companies, there's 4 companies who own all of them. 4 companies who own all the meat. 1 company who owns all the entertainment tickets.
Which is funny because we were able to break it up with the telephone industry for a while.
Yeah,
well,
AT&T.
Bell Atlantic got
broken up.
Or was it AT&T? But they put in the bells and stuff.
I think it was AT&T tried to. AT&T was merging or doing the merge, but
They
either way, it got
broken
broken
up. And now
up.
we have all of them.
Like, what's the FTC actually do if they look at Ticketmaster and go, "This is fine"?
But my only counter would be like, the thing is, SeatGeek was secondary market, but now the thing is, SeatGeek is now partnering with different arenas.
Well, I mean,
that's also
the
the
thing
issue.
is, though, Ricky, like, Ian, who owns SeatGeek? Who's their parent company?
I don't know.
So that's the problem, right? Like, these other companies, there's plenty of options out there to buy tickets, but who owns those companies? Well, and those parent companies, and who owns that
screwed
parent
everybody
company?
up? Do you know?
If you go up the chain, it's just 4 companies or 1
company.
company.
You know what actually screwed? You know what makes Ticketmaster a huge monopoly? Because they bought. Because remember Live Nation? Ticketmaster bought them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ticketmaster bought them. Which the FTC needs to come in and go, no, we're not. This can't go through. It's monopoly. Because there's no competition. Your competition is yourself.
Yeah, and SeatGeek hasn't built themselves up enough yet.
Like, that's like WB going, listen, there's not a wrestling monopoly. We have Raw, SmackDown, NXT UK. It's like, we have AEW. It's like, well, technically that's true, but like if NXT was its own LLC, its own listed company, and Raw was its own LLC listed company, and like SmackDown was an S Corp, it's like, yeah, technically they are different companies, but they're all owned by the same person. They're all owned by WWE. So it's like pseudo competition. You're competing with yourself. So it's not actually it's a monopoly. It's not actual competition.
I wonder how SeatGeek got AT&T Stadium and apparently State Farm Stadium too.
It's a good question. Who knows how those deals work? Sun made a lot of money off that.
Well, I mean, think of all the money SeatGeek made this year, being the exclusive ticket holder for WrestleMania.
Think about how much money FTX lost. Miami's like the Heat are like, what? Fuck out of here.
Oh my God, Taylor Swift, the Eras tour. Oh my God, like all this Taylor Swift talk, I'm just like, is the album really that good?
I mean, she did have all 10 spots.
Which is the first time ever, right?
Top 10 spots.
Yeah.
First time ever. I mean, dude, her tickets on resale market are going to. Yeah, it did, but on the resale market, it's going between $22,000 and $50,000 for a ticket.
And she owns
if
her music
that was a
this
monopoly.
Time.
Oh my! That gave me a shiver down my spine. No, the fact that, now she's making all that money.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, girl. You deserve to own your music. But a concert ticket. It's like, okay, who can undercut that price? Because honestly, if someone can undercut the price, it would be undercut. But guess what? There isn't. Because it's not.
Well, the secondary market is huge. I think the way Ticketmaster Monopoly is, they're the initial point of sale for like everything.
No, they also own the
secondary market do they own?
You can,
besides their own.
They do that through their own.
But then people also go out to other secondary markets. But I think the issue is that Ticketmaster is the only primary market most of the time.
No, but if you buy it through Ticketmaster can be like, no, you can only do it through Ticketmaster.
Oh, okay, all right. So that makes more sense.
You know what I mean? It's like so Ticketmaster could have it in their terms of service where it's just like, if you want to resell it, you can only do it through. Well,
you know what happens is actually because here's actually what happens is that this happens a lot. people will post it on like SeatGeek or like a StubHub or something, but you're still transferring through Ticketmaster, so it wouldn't. No matter what, you still have to go through Ticketmaster, which would up the price of the secondary market because you have to cover some shit.
Exactly. So Ticketmaster gets the fees on the original point of sale, and then they get more fees plus a transaction fee through the secondary market. So they're double dipping on taxes. It's monopoly. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Buts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to listen to this Taylor Swift album. I'm just like, why is everybody talking about this? But we'll see.
You should listen to my podcast. We did a 2-hour deep dive into the economy, and I was just like, I compared the U.S. economy to a game of Monopoly because no capitalism, and I was just like, okay, how does a game of Monopoly end? There's 3 ways a game of Monopoly can end. One person or a group of people owns everything. The second way is before you get there, you stop and start over. You pretty much just quit, like you win and start over. Or 3, you flip the board. So if the U.S. economy is a game of if the U.S. capitalist system is a game of Monopoly, where are we in the game, and how does it end?
Not well. We're
Not well. It's like, listen, number 1 is never going to be admitted. Like, they're just going to pretend it's not happening. Number 2 is never going to happen because that would make too much sense. So the only option is you flip the board. And what happens when you flip the board? No one wants to clean it up. And if no one wants to clean it up, what do? You play another game. And that game is socialism. And that doesn't work anywhere. So, no good options.
As an entirety, probably not, but I think there are aspects to helping out the populace in depending on how you're helping and what you're doing to help and so on and so forth. It has to be a healthy balance.
Well,
I'll put it that way. Yeah, I think it has to be a healthy balance.
Agreed. So my guest, Chris, he's very libertarian, which is actually a little surprising. He's libertarian from Pennsylvania. And I also lean pretty libertarian. So his thing was just like, there's a lot of opportunities out there, which is true. And a lot of innovation coming in the healthcare sector. True. And I was like, that's true. But I was like, you got to remember that the healthcare system is insanely corrupt. He's like, yeah, but you have all these small companies that are doing these innovative things, and they're going to get bought out.
That's the problem. They're going to get bought out.
I was like, that's
they're not
the
going to be. They're not going to be able to grow independently like they should and get the funding that they probably should, because someone else is going to be bigger and has more funds, is going to throw a ton of money at them and take all of their stuff.
And not only that, there's no competition
because the big companies want to eliminate competition.
These companies are exactly. So if Pfizer buys them out, or if Moderna buys them out, or J&J buys them out, it's like costs will be lower at first because they are competition. But once
the sale goes
out,
through, there's no competition.
And then there's price gouging.
Yep.
And what do you do? What do you buy with $100 billion that they made off of the vaccine? Well, they buy the government to make sure they can't make laws against it, and they buy the media companies to make sure there's good press on them all the time.
You control
the narrative. Which is exactly what they're doing. Exactly. So it's like, yes, there is innovation, but the corruption is going to make sure that innovation is unaffordable to everyday people. So what else you got there, Chris?
Yeah, like I said, there's got to be a healthy balance, and there has to be a regulation.
Exactly.
Ideally, the government or the powers that be are supposed to regulate competition, and that doesn't happen.
And it's not happening.
They're being bought out.
They give them, the government gives them subsidies to then in turn turn around and do stock buybacks, inflate their stock price, and use that stock price to pretty much cash out and then bribe the politicians.
Who are already double dipping because they already have hands in the stock anyways.
Exactly. And that's a bipartisan issue on both sides, which is why voting.
Here's my question for you before we leave, because I'm about to leave. Because Charles and I are probably going to watch Andor. What are your thoughts on government officials, Congress people essentially. So not like, your lower tier. I'm talking about like Senate and House. Federal government, yeah.
Federal government.
Where doesn't federal government owning stock?
0. Them and their
I
families
agree.
cannot own
I
it.
agree with you wholeheartedly.
So if you are a member of Congress, you, your wife, and your children cannot own stock.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And Dan Crenshaw is just like, how are we supposed to better ourselves?
By helping the American people,
It's like,
you're supposed to.
It's like, motherfucker, you are a public servant. It's not about you, asshole. If you had 2 eyes, maybe you would fucking know that. Like, thank you for your service, but go fuck yourself.
You better yourself by helping other people out. Like you are a servant of the people. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they should not be allowed to own stock. It's
the amount of
ridiculous.
insider trading they probably do all the fucking time that goes unregulated.
They do blatant corruption in wide open public, and no one cares, and the media doesn't cover it because then they lose access, and that access is everything to them because it's status.
I miss I don't like them holding stock. I also like the fact that I forgot what it's called, but it was the political thing that forced media people to have equal coverage for both parties.
Well, you know what ruined that, right?
It's Citizens United. I think it's called. No, not Citizens.
No. That was the equal, like if you're covering the news, you got to
Sunshine. Was it like Sunshine Fund or something? Sunshine something.
It was something like that. No, but the person who ruined it was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Fucking Terminator.
Because under that law was a provision because he was in movies. So that counted.
Oh, and he hated that.
And entertainment counted.
And he hated that.
So it was impossible to cover both sides equally because he had
too much movies. Yeah,
he was in too many movies. So like actors and like even Ronald Reagan was a problem. Ronald Reagan was as much of a problem because there wasn't as much film. But like Schwarzenegger movies on reruns on TV, you can't compete with that. So they
should have just killed the provision really because it sounds like everything else would have been fine.
Yeah, no shit.
Citizens United was giving corporations equal rights as a human. I believe that was.
Well, no, the Supreme Court ruled that corporations are people and they have the same rights as people, which to some extent makes sense.
Yeah.
But the problem is the Supreme Court also ruled that money equals free speech.
Because the corporations have all the money. Yeah.
Because they wanted to legalize bribery. And so that means that's a straight up Animal Farm. Everyone has free speech, but some speech is freer than others.
Oh, those pigs. So yeah. It's a shame. It's really funny how like just a couple of quick changes everything in government, which would be it's just crazy, but we might be in too deep.
But those quick changes mean that everyone who has money not even that. Those changes that means that everyone who has money and power no longer has money and power.
And they will never give that up. Of course not.
And why would they give it up? Which is why you got to vote for small government.
Or smaller government. It's
so.
Like I said, there's got to be a healthy balance, and we haven't been healthy and balanced in a very long time.
No. Like, I like to consider myself a libertarian populist, if that's even a real thing.
Okay. I don't know if that is a real thing.
Like, libertarians being like, libertarian is very, like, rights and freedoms of the people. So, and populist because my best interest is with
interest of the majority.
My beliefs, my best interest of my beliefs are with the majority of the people.
So rights of the
based off the rights granted in the Constitution and the rights as an American.
Okay. What's the best? I forgot the philosophical thinker is, but it's for the common good. For the common good.
Common good.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And those two things can clash pretty often. That's why it doesn't really make sense to say I'm a libertarian populist. Those things kind of clash.
Yeah. Anywho, let's get out of here. Everything's uploaded, I'm assuming, or will be. All right,
Yep, we're
perfect.
good to go.
Mr. Fretch, we'll talk offline a little bit more about shenanigans next week, but we're looking forward to have you. Get those pretzels ready.
Can't wait, Frets.
Yeah, get those pretzels ready. So we'll see you guys soon.
Midnight music.